What's up, guys? Figured I'd just give you a live stream. There's kind of a crazy lag going on right now, but I'm gonna try and keep up with you guys the best I can. I figured I'd just give you guys a live stream. I've had kind of a crazy week. Unfortunately, I also have to work this weekend, which kind of cuts into my time that I have to make videos for you guys. And if you haven't been following my social media, then you probably don't know that my GoPro Hero is also down. I have a repair video coming out on that probably next week. I've already started with the repair. It's very easy. I actually got a replacement lens. This is the original lens. I have a new lens for that. However, I forgot to pick up some thermal paste, so I need to swing by Best Buy and pick up some thermal paste before I put everything back together. So if you guys have a Hero 4 and yours broke, then you could definitely check that out. But I'm kind of lacking on car videos this week because I have several parts coming in, however they haven't come in yet. So this is going to be a hangout. I'm going to hang out with you guys, talk with you guys, BS, whatever. But first, I just want to run through some quick talking points so that you guys know what's going on with my channel and, you know, you have some idea as to what to expect. So, yeah, firstly, my GoPro is dead. Actually, it's not dead. That's not quite true. The lens was all scratched up from a mishap. I was getting ready to go to Cars and Coffee past Saturday, and I was filming washing up my car, right? Thought it would be cool. I forgot that I had it suction mounted to my garage door, and I was inside the garage, put the garage door up, and the lens totally scraped against the ceiling because there's not much clearance between the garage door and my ceiling, so it pretty much killed the lens. Instead of me buying a brand new Hero 5 for like $400, which is ridiculous, or me going on Amazon and buying a used Hero 4 for like $270, which is still kind of ridiculous, I was able to pick up a replacement lens for about 30 bucks. So that's what's going on with that. Unfortunately, I don't have my GoPro, which means that I can't do any quick, you know, car vlogs or anything like that. It really limits the videos that I can make this week. But I do have my new lens in, and it's getting ready to be fixed. So that hopefully will get taken care of soon, and I could get back to all my normal videos. The second thing is I do have a ton of car parts coming in the coming weeks. I'm very excited about. The first part that I have is a new crash beam coming in for my front bumper, which is kind of lame, I'm sure. You're probably like, who the hell cares? But I've mentioned this in a video probably like 6 months to a year ago. My crash beam is rusted heavily, and it's always something that I've wanted to replace, but at this point it has rusted to the point where it's starting to leave stains on my bumper. So I definitely need to replace that. I actually sourced one for like 120 bucks on eBay. So I think it's not a remanufactured part. It's an aftermarket part. Like, it's not OEM Subaru, but it's up to the same standards and all that stuff. So you'll be seeing that getting installed probably next week as long as I have time. So I'm really excited about that. I know it's like kind of a dumb part. You never see it, and it's definitely not a performance part, but I'm excited to replace that because right now my crash beam is leaving a stain on my bumper, which sucks, and it's also leaving stains in my driveway, which I care less about, but it's just the fact that it's rusting away and it's leaving crap everywhere. Suspension, I have new suspension coming in. I just heard from the company. They should be finishing it up either later this week or early next week. It's a custom-built suspension, and I'm really excited to show you guys. Because my coilovers are awful. I'll try to explain this in the video, and I'll try to show you guys, but the shocks are not doing what they're supposed to do right now. They're not really doing anything, so it's all spring. Anytime I hit a bump, it's terrible. It's really bad. I feel like I'm driving on cut springs or something real janky, real crappy like that. So I right now have Fortune Auto 500s with about 30,000 miles on them, 35,000, and our roads are terrible, so they pretty much killed those. Yes, I am going with new Fortune Autos. I've kind of teased this. I teased it on my Instagram, you know, whether I'm going with bags or coils. I'll let the cat out of the bag right now. I'm sticking with coils. Fortunato 500. Don't tell nobody. If you know that, then that's cool. If not, then I'll probably tease people. It drives people nuts. I kind of enjoy that. It kind of cracks me up. I'm really not into bags, but that's going to be in a separate video. I'll explain bags versus coils and why I like coils and why you might like bags and all that stuff. But yeah, getting new coils. I will be installing new quick disconnect latches on my bumper. Not on the sides, I already have those installed, however on the top, so that my full bumper is quick detachable. It's something that I wanted to do last year, but I didn't get into before the weather got bad. So weather's starting to warm up, and I have some quick latches to install, so I'll show you guys how to make your front bumper fully detachable. Because on my car especially, I'm sure other cars are the same way, whenever you remove them, whenever you have to take it off or whatever, the plastic clips suck and they always break. So I'm really sick of that. Last time I removed my front bumper, my finger got pinched in the plastic piece and it took out a piece of skin, which really sucked. So we're going to be upgrading that as well. And unfortunately, this past weekend was Pittsburgh Cars and Coffee, the season opener, which I had a blast at. It was pretty cold. It was like 40 degrees, which doesn't sound bad, but it was also like drizzling on and off. And when you're outside for like 2 to 3 hours, it gets cold. But it was an awesome time. Ton of cars there. We had an amazing turnout, and it was really cool to meet up with Doc Dem 3 and Eli from IgnitionTube. Had a great time just BSing about cars. Teddy, shout out to you, dude, because you came out and hung out with us. If you guys don't know, Teddy Westside's a subscriber. And he follows me on Instagram. So who cares if he's an Evo driver? Evos are cool. So yeah, I love meeting you guys. If you guys ever see me out in public or at a car meet or whatever, feel free to come out and hang out with me. Say what's up, ask questions, whatever. I'm real laid back. I know Eli's real laid back. Doc M3's real laid back. Evan and TJ are the same way. We're all chill. So, you know, don't ever feel like you can't approach any of us. Like, we're all real cool. And I know for myself, and I know a lot of other guys are the same way, we love meeting you guys. We love hanging out and just BSing about cars. I mean, we all started car channels because we love cars. So BSing about cars at a car show or at a car meet is what we're all about. So that's the rundown. Unfortunately, I don't have any video of the Cars and Coffee opener. I don't know what the hell happened, and I'm kind of pissed, but like all the footage got corrupted, which is pretty crazy. I was using my GoPro to film washing my car before heading out, and then my GoPro got damaged. So then I had to switch over to my DSLR at the last minute, and I think it was the memory card that I grabbed. It might not have been great. It was acting kind of sketchy, so I think that's what happened, unfortunately. But I won't have video of that. However, I will be at future Cars and Coffee's events. I should be there in 2 weeks, hopefully, and I'll definitely film more stuff, more footage of Cars and Coffee, so you'll have plenty of that. So that's pretty much the whole thing that I have for my updates. And everything else I'm just going to open up to questions and stuff, so I'll start addressing that. Let's see. Yeah, you should do a day in the life. I definitely want to. I'll probably do that more in the summer. It's kind of difficult with school because that's all that I do. Like, I go to school, I'm in class, then I go home. So it's really not exciting. There's not much to show in class unless you want to see like an hour and a half of history or something, or one of those lectures or something. I don't have any crazy classes that are really cool or exciting to film for you guys. So that's really not super interesting. I am more open in the summer. I have more stuff going on, more different things that I could film for you guys. But I do enjoy making day in the life videos for you. So I hope to have that coming up a little bit more. Is that a Prova steering wheel back there? Actually, this is my, it's an OEM STI wheel from a 2015 STI. The airbag on it has already been fired. I need to replace this. But this bad boy right here is going into my car at some point. I don't know exactly when. Pretty soon. I was thinking that I had to adjust some of the things on the circuit boards to get the cruise control to work. But I actually just saw a video last week of a guy who put I believe it was a 2014 STI steering wheel into his '05 Legacy, I believe. And he didn't have to do any of that. He just had to resplice some of the wires, which is much easier. So I think the steering wheel is going to be kind of a trial and error type deal. If all I have to do is splice wires, I'm good on that. And I'm going to try and get a control module so that I could also have the audio controls. So it is an OEM wheel, but it is going in my STI. I cannot wait because my steering wheel looks like crap and it's falling apart and it's been driving me insane. So that is another video that's going to be coming up probably in about a month or so. I'm going to wait till I'm out of school. My last day of school is April 28th, so after that I will have more free time to get into some heavier projects. Let's see. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Fortune Autos are sweet, so you are definitely going to enjoy them if they are your first set. If they're not your first set and you've had them before, then you already know what you're getting. But I feel like Fortune Auto, just to be clear, I'm not sponsored by them. And I just feel obligated to say that because so many people are sponsored by everybody right now. I just want to make that clear. Like I paid retail for both sets of my Fortune Autos. I'm not getting kickbacks to say that they're great, but Fortune Auto is a hell of a company, and you get a lot for your money. And the coolest thing is that you could custom build each of your coilovers. You could set them up however you want. Custom spring rates. Some of them, they have aluminum shock bodies. So the threaded body is actually aluminum. That's not available for my car because of the McPherson strut. It's really not strong enough. Aluminum isn't strong enough for that. But some other vehicles, that is an option. You could really get just about anything you want with them. So I do recommend checking out Cygnus Performance. If you check out my Instagram, I believe I might have shouted them out. I don't recall. But when I get my suspension in, I definitely will shout them out. And I'll shout them out in my video so you know exactly where I picked it up from. But it's Cygnus Performance. It's Cyngus, I believe. They have really cool coilovers. In their Fortune Auto series, you could actually order them in a black and blue combination. So most Fortune Autos are like black and green, which is cool. But black and blue is also cool, which is the ones that I'm getting. Again, keep it I just like to tease people about that. But yeah, Fortune Autos are they're awesome. I'm very impressed with them, and that's why I'm buying a second set. I've been more than pleased with them. What's up, Amateur Car Garage? Bags suck. Bags, I'll say this about bags. I think bags have their application. Guys who rock bags, you do you. You know, I don't really have anything personal against bags. They just wouldn't work well for me. The functionality of them, the ability to raise your car, you know, and get over bumps and speed bumps and potholes or whatever, stuff like that, that's really awesome, and that's really, really unique to bags. I know Fortune Auto just came out with a air piston lift system, I believe back in SEMA 2015, which is a couple years now, but they have an air piston lift system to get you over speed bumps, but it's really not meant to be driven on. So I do think bags are pretty cool, but they are certainly not for me. I don't know how they would hold up on our rough roads that we have here in Pittsburgh or the harsh winters. But if you want to rock bags, rock bags. I prefer coils personally. That being said, I've never driven on bags either. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of bags. I'm not really you know, a fan of stanced or slammed cars, but to each his own. The more diversity, the better, in my opinion. Nicholas says, any performance mods on the horizon? Basically just what I went over. Quick latches are getting done. New steering wheel. Not that those are really performance, quote-unquote, mods. Suspension, like I said, I already have Fortune Auto 500s, but I do need to replace them because they are worn out. Aside from that, that's about it. I've said this for a while, but as soon as Cobb comes out with their Flex Fuel Kit, any day now, supposedly they're supposed to be releasing it soon, but whenever they come out with that, I plan on getting their Flex Fuel Kit and a Pro Tune. That doesn't mean it's necessarily going to happen like the day they release it, but I've been wanting to go flex fuel for some time, so hopefully they'll come out with that fairly soon. Other than that, my car is pretty much where I want it to be, performance-wise. It runs well, so there's really not much that I need to change at this point. Yeah, Amateur Car Garage says I got to come to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's pretty sweet, man. Pittsburgh's a cool place to be. The car scene has actually picked up a lot, and it's really cool. Especially Cars and Coffee is pretty sweet. Yeah, I need an all-new media storage device. Yeah, my hard drive here. This one's dead. This crashed like, I don't know, 4 weeks ago now, and I still haven't talked to the company. I contacted the company that could recover it, and I've just been so busy. I've been running around everywhere like crazy. I haven't dropped it off to them, but I need to get that recovered fairly soon. Which, interestingly enough, the most valuable thing on that hard drive is probably like my end screen. If you guys saw some of my older videos, I had like my car with the 2 videos. YouTube is actually doing away with annotations, so you won't be able to annotate videos like that anymore. You actually have to use YouTube's end screen, which if you saw some of my recent videos, like the last 2 or 3 videos, that's what I've been using. And you just create basically 20 seconds of whatever, and then you could overlay YouTube's own, like, I don't know, end screen on that and put whatever videos, which is pretty cool. So the end screen that I have on that hard drive is kind of outdated at this point and useless. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, A13 Taz says, I want a Prova D-shape. I love the Prova wheels. And some people have seen my previous videos and thought that I hate them. I really don't hate them. I just think that they're ridiculously overpriced. And that's just my opinion. I mean, if that's what you really want, then rock it, absolutely. But for me personally, they're like, what, $700, $750? Like, that's crazy. For just just for this part. You have to retain your own airbag, you retain the back cover and all that stuff. So for this wheel I paid like $350. It was like $390 shipped with PayPal fees. And yes, I do have to get a new airbag, but that's only because I bought a deployed one. I figured, hey, why not? You know, that's something that I could buy a little bit later down the road. But yeah, the Prova wheels are sick. I definitely like them. I do like the Provas better than the GT spec and the dammed wheels. Again, to each his own, it's personal preference. But I think the Prova wheels are really sick. It's just more money than I really wanted to spend. Yeah, if you're sponsored legally, you're supposed to tell people, yeah. Typically, that's how it's supposed to work. There are some different types of sponsorships, which I'm not, I mean, hey, if they want to give me free stuff, I have no problem plugging it, you know, and there's a lot of hate on different YouTubers for, you know, showing off sponsored parts, but I honestly think that's like every car guy's dream to be sponsored. So if I got good parts from a legitimate company that I believed in, then yeah, I would sponsor stuff, but I would definitely tell you guys. I would always tell you guys. I'm not here to like lie to anybody or pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I hate that crap. That's seriously like one of my biggest pet peeves, where people just talk great about a part because they were given it for free. You know, I don't have a problem with sponsorships, but for me personally, I would have to agree with the part. I would have to agree with the company. I actually got a message a little while ago on my YouTube from some company that wanted to send me a car battery charger, and in the disclaimer they listed a whole bunch of things that I couldn't say. So they were basically like, "Hey, here's this free stuff. We'll send it to you in about 3 months." Was their time frame, 3 to 4 months, which is ridiculous. And then they wanted me to make a video showing it off, and then they were saying that I couldn't say anything negative about them or their part or anything. So even if I had the car charger and it sucked and it didn't work, I wouldn't be able to tell you guys that it sucked. And they also wanted to review the video before I put it out, which is like, that's not how I roll. No, I'll review any part you send me. I'll sponsor any part you send me. but I'm going to tell you what it is. If it's an awesome part like quick latch, I'll let you know. Again, disclosure, quick latch I paid retail price for. I didn't get any kickbacks from them, but I love quick latches. So if I think it's a great part and I believe in it, I'll say so. If I think it sucks, if I think it's garbage, then I'll say so. Same way I did with my parent bypass valve. I had some issues with that. I'm going to say it. That's how I roll, man. There's no reason to be lying to people. It's so hard to find good information on the internet anyhow. The last thing you guys need is somebody else putting out false information or misleading information. Yeah, with coils you get your trunk space. Absolutely. Bags are cool. If you have a bigger trunk, or if it's just like a secondary car that you don't need trunk space, that's cool. But they have a huge air tank in the back. They have a compressor. I might as well put a sound system in my trunk if I was going to go with bags. It just kills your trunk space. And, you know, for some people that's cool. Like I said, bags are cool, but they're not for me. They're not for this car. So we'll see. If like Airlift Performance sends me a free set of bags, I might rock them. Not to mention, bags are also super expensive. I was looking at bags just for kicks, and I think they're like $3,000, $4,000 for a setup. So yeah, a little bit out of my price range. That's like over double for what I paid for a nice set of coilovers. The coilovers that I got also have upgraded Swift springs. I'll get into all the details whenever I actually get my coils in, but I'm very excited about my coils. Justin Kelly says I skipped a question. I'm not aware of what question I skipped. I'm not trying to intentionally skip questions. Let's see. Yeah, it's out for the GRs. Yeah, they released the Cobb, I'm talking about, released the Flex Fuel for the GR series, I want to say about a year ago now. They were teasing Flex Fuel for a long time, and then they released it, and everybody lost their minds, and then I cried a little bit because it was only for the GR series. The GD series should be up next, and to give Cobb credit, you know, I'm kind of anxious because I have a GD STI and I really want Flex Fuel, but Cobb is doing so much right now in the whole car community. They're coming out with stuff, if I'm not mistaken, for the Focus, the STs, the RSs, the EcoBoost Mustangs. They have Volkswagen stuff, Porsche stuff, GTR stuff. I mean, you name it, and Cobb is pretty much in the game. So it's not just a Subaru company anymore. When I first got my first access port, my V2, several years ago, they did just about Subarus and I think Evos and some Porsches, and that was about it. Everything else was pretty spotty, but now they support just about everything, which is really, really cool. Let's see. Yeah, you got the Swifts and the radial bearing. Swift springs are awesome from everything that I hear. The current setup that I have right now just have their standard springs, which are decent. I have no complaints about my current setup, at least how it was when it was new. The standard springs are pretty decent. I felt like they were standard coilovers. I didn't feel like they were cheap or garbage, but they really punch well above their weight, being budget coilovers. I wouldn't even consider Fortunato to be budget coilovers, really. They just kind of fall into that price category. But a lot of their stuff is made in-house. A lot of their valving is done custom, so what you're getting with Fortunato isn't even comparable to what you get with Megan or even BC Racing, in my opinion. Even KWs. A lot of people love KWs, and I have nothing against KWs, but I honestly feel that Fortunato provides a lot more coilover for the money compared to KWs. Same with Tane. Tane coils are known to be good. I'd say they're on par with KWs or so. But a lot of those upper class coilovers, they don't even come with top hats. So you're spending like $3 grand on coils, and then you have to get the upper camber plates too, which is another, what, $200, $300, $400 easy. So that kind of sucks. I really think that, what's up, Tedward? I really think that Fortunato is an awesome way to get into the coilover game. If you're really not sure what you want and you want to go with something that is modular, that could be rebuilt or changed or upgraded, you know, Fortune Auto is really cool like that. You could start off with standard springs and upgrade to Swift springs later, or even change out spring rates with no issue. It's very easy to do. Yeah, I was on Dr. M3's video. That's really cool. Dr. M3 is really cool. It was awesome seeing him. It was awesome seeing Superstorm. It was awesome seeing Eli. It's hard to even put into words. There's just so much that goes on, you know, in such a short time. It's hard to put it into words sometimes. And we were talking about this at the Cars and Coffee. You know, it's always a debate. It's always like a struggle between whether you film stuff or you just enjoy yourself, because it's very easy to get into filming and miss everything that's going on around you, and vice versa, which is most of my time was spent just BSing with everybody else and not filming, which I really enjoy that. But then it kind of sucks because I hang out and I have a great time, everybody else has a great time, but then when it comes to YouTube, I'm like, oh, sorry guys, I forgot to film. I was having way too much fun. So there's definitely a balance there, but I love collabing with other channels. That's another thing this summer. I definitely need to work on doing more collaborations with people. Mostly it just comes down to trying to get our schedules to line up and, you know, and deciding a video to make. But I definitely want to do more collab videos. Yeah, thanks for congratulating me on 5K. I'm already at like, what, 5,200 something? I don't even know. I'm losing track. But you guys are freaking awesome. Like, seriously. My channel's just taken off, and I'm loving it. For those of you who I'm sure already know, YouTube can be really sketchy sometimes. Like, there will be times where your channel will just take off and do really well, where videos do really well, and then there are other times where it just kind of lags for one reason or another. And you could put out video after video that you think is good or you think is going to do well, and it just doesn't pick up like you expect to. Your channel doesn't pick up like you expect it to. I really don't know why that is, but right now my channel is doing very well. It's growing pretty quick. My Instagram's also growing pretty quick. My Instagram and Twitter are also at HawkeyeSTiGuy, and I have a Facebook page / HawkeyeSTiGuy for anybody who didn't catch that already. But yeah, I'm enjoying the ride. I just love making videos. I like sharing knowledge with people. It's kind of funny because sometimes people don't like certain videos that I make because I guess it's not entertaining enough. But I try to do my best to give you guys a balance of entertaining videos as well as putting out information, because I know there's a lot of younger guys or a lot of people who are just new to Subarus or cars in general who are searching for knowledge. And there's so much misinformation out there. And I will say I don't have all the information. I don't have, you know, all the expertise as some guys do. But I try to put out whatever information that I can. And if I'm not sure, then I try to at least find the answer for you guys. Have you heard about DCCD controller? I got one on my STI. Yeah, it depends on what you have. The DCCD, I believe, was introduced to the USDM STIs in 2005. It may be 06, but I think it was 05. So there is a way to modify the WRXs or the STIs prior to that to use DCCD, but I have not done it myself. I know you could buy the controller, and I don't know what else you have to buy to control that. I don't know if it's just a plug and play, but yeah, you can modify other Subarus to use DCCD. I have a friend who was down in South Carolina when I was down there, and he had a WRX TR 2007, and he basically did a full STI swap on it. I believe I don't recall if he had the STI motor, but he did swap in the 6-speed transmission, and he swapped in a VF39 turbo, and he added DCCD, which was pretty cool. So he did it himself, and I don't think it's super hard, but I couldn't tell you how to do it. Yep, got to film and balance, which is tricky. It's difficult. What is your video with the most views and how many is it? I haven't checked recently. I checked probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. The most viewed video is the 10 things that I hate about my STI, which is the most hated video. That's my most disliked video. That's probably my most commented on video. And basically, it was just meant to be a fun tag video. You know, and I was tagged by Max at Wastegate Warriors. So if you actually go to that video, I have annotations and links to his page. But he tagged me for the, it was just a video going around, right? So tag videos, you just tag other people, say, hey, here's my 10 things that I hate, and I want to hear what you don't like about your car or whatever. So it was just meant to be a fun video. That's all it was meant to be. Which I understand it didn't necessarily come across like that. It is hard to get across certain emotions. So even though I was joking in some things, I think people still kind of took it as me being serious or critical. And there are things about my car that I didn't like. And I will say that when I made that video, I was just coming off of rebuilding my engine for the second time. Both engine failures were due to other things failing. It was not the engine itself. But I was kind of frustrated. And I think that was in like maybe November time frame. So I just got my car back in August. So I was a little bit salty with my with Aurora, with my Subaru. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. There's a lot of people who think the STI is the best car ever made and it has 0 flaws, which is completely inaccurate. And there's people who think the Evo is the best car ever and it never has any flaws, runs 100% of the time, and has no issues, and that is not accurate. So I was kind of poking fun at Subarus, I was kind of poking fun at Evos and other cars out there, because no matter what car you have, it's going to have issues. There's going to be things that come up, whether it's your fault, things that you modify or don't do right, or just sometimes certain parts don't work well together. Some of it's from Subaru. So that was my most hated video. I believe it had 150,000 views. The second most popular video was, surprisingly, my views or my opinions on the 2018 WRX and STI. I just wanted to make that video because, that was what was out right then. They just released it like a week before I made that video, or 2 weeks, whatever it was. So I figured, hey, I'm not going to be able to give you my opinions, at any other time, really, or at a better time. So I put out that video, and I really didn't expect that to pick up like it did. It kind of went semi-viral, and now I think that's up to like 66, 67,000 views, which is crazy for my small channel anyway. It's a lot of people who just roll through, watch the video, hate the video probably, think I'm an idiot, and they don't subscribe, which is totally cool. I really don't care about subscribers. I mean, I love the subscribers that I do have. I appreciate you guys, but I really don't feel pressured to make a certain type of video to lure people into my channel. I don't feel like I have to answer to anybody. I make the videos that I enjoy, and I make videos that I think my subscribers will enjoy. So that's kind of how that video was. I was just kind of winging it, giving a few of my thoughts. Again, some good, some bad. People were happy that, they agreed with me that I said, I didn't like the plastic vents or that they look cheap. I had other people mad at me because I said I didn't like the vents and I said they look cheap. So no matter what you put out, really, somebody will agree with you and other people disagree, which is hilarious to me. But yeah, that was my second most watched video. Surprisingly, it's always the videos that I don't think will do well that do exceptionally well for whatever reason. I don't know why that is, but I'm perfectly okay with it. So if something picks up and goes viral, I'm good with it. Yeah, you shouldn't need to do, yeah, exactly. You shouldn't need to do a motor swap with a 06 WRX because it's already a 2.5, yeah. Basically, yeah. I think there are some differences as far as like the injectors are different, I believe. I'm not sure about internals. I'm pretty sure those are the same. There are some other things. The intercooler is different from the factory from Subaru. But all that other stuff is pretty much bolt-on. So it just comes down to tuning, really. So it's really not that hard to, you know, swap that. For an 07, 06 WRX, you really don't have to swap the motor anyhow. Let's see. Yeah, exactly. It's very easy to get caught up in the experience when you're trying to film stuff. And what sucks is it's very hard to film something and enjoy what's going on. You're worried about whether something's in focus, if the color looks good, you're worried about framing and everything else, and you really can't enjoy what else is going on if you're filming, which just kind of sucks. So that's what I did mostly at the Vintage Grand Prix last summer. I did a lot of enjoying myself. I shot some footage. I think this year, last year was the first time I actually went to Vintage Grand Prix, by the way. So this year I've went there. I'm still going to enjoy myself, but I will be doing more filming. And a lot of guys, the other guys that were there, TJ, Evan, Eli, all those guys, Jerry, Batista, they all pretty much enjoyed themselves on the first day, and then they did all their filming on the second day, which worked out better because there was less people there anyhow. Yeah, Lewis says, congrats on 5K. Thanks, man. Like, I never thought I would be at 5K, honestly, much less this soon. When I made my channel, I really didn't have a goal. I just wanted to make videos. I wanted to share my passion for cars, share some knowledge on my STI, and, you know, take guys along with me. Because I know myself, I'm very passionate about my car. I love driving. I love wrenching on my car. So all of that is just my own personal experience, and without making videos, I wasn't able to share that with anybody. So that was the main reason I started my channel. It's not like I saw somebody and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get YouTube famous. I assure you that wasn't the reason. If I was trying to get YouTube famous, I would probably just start a reaction channel, because those guys are doing much better than I am, which is kind of funny. And I do watch a lot of other channels, reaction channels, car channels. I actually watch a lot of other science channels, like the Backyard Scientist, bunch of other random channels and stuff. But if I wanted to be YouTube famous, I definitely would have picked a different genre. It wouldn't be cars. That's for sure. Yeah, most disliked videos are always the biggest. The best part about dislike videos and mean comments is people don't realize that actually just helps the video get even bigger. I've had so many people who have thumbed down a video or left mean comments, and I'm thankful. I appreciate that, because first of all, you're not going to hurt my feelings because you thumb down my video. I don't really care. The whole point of the thumbs up, thumbs down is to give feedback to the creator, so that if I make a particular video, let's say on my steering wheel, and I get a ton of thumbs down, then I'm like, okay, people don't give a crap about my steering wheel. And then I know as a creator that maybe I don't want to make another video like that. But when it comes to videos like that go semi-viral, or at least viral for my channel, if I get a bunch of thumbs down, I really don't care. That only helps the video get more views, which translate into you know, more money. Which again, it's not much, but you know, it helps. And I make videos that, again, I think you guys will enjoy, that I think my subscribers will enjoy. So that's awesome. I mean, I really don't care about the haters. Haters are going to hate no matter what you do. And I've never met a hater in my life who was mad or jealous of somebody, you know, for not being successful. Haters only hate on successful people. And you could see that time and time and time again. Throughout history, throughout, you know, business, the business world, the YouTube world, people only hate on successful people. People weren't hating on TJ Hunt until he was at, you know, over 100,000 subscribers. And that's not to say that there weren't haters here and there, but the hate he's gotten in the last several months is mostly, I think, in my opinion, because he's successful, because his channel's blowing up. And there's a lot of people coming across his channel and they don't know why he's doing so well. But you only get successful from, you know, pushing the haters aside and keeping on grinding. So, yeah, the 2018 is garbage. I think I have mixed feelings on the 2018. Subaru did a lot of things right. I do like the bigger brake calipers, and I'm hoping, I would need to see how much they cost. I'm really, really hoping to put those on my car. Hopefully they'll clear my new Enki wheels, which are 18 inches. But I think Subaru upgraded to the 19-inch wheels to avoid that. I think it was for clearance issues, but we'll see. I really want those calipers on my car. Just because I can. Just because they would be awesome. Yeah, I don't know. There's some things that I like, some things I dislike. I don't think the interior's that bad. The front bumper could use some work. I know a lot of people are pissed off that it still has the EJ motor. Rumor has it in 2020 they're supposed to release a new, like a FA225, I guess. I can't really verify that. It's just rumor at this point. I will say, I think Subaru knows what they're doing. I think they know that the EJ is kind of outdated, but the EJ is still a pretty good motor. You know, I think it's one of those things. It has a lot of good with the car. There is some bad. I'm really excited to see what they have for 2020. I think that should be a pretty cool update. Hopefully. Let's see. Yeah, you watch Mighty Car Mods. I'm always like too busy to watch Mighty Car Mods, which I know is like sacrilegious. I try to watch them. I catch an episode every now and then, but there's only a few channels that I really watch, and a lot of times I end up binge watching. You know, like I haven't watched any of Evan's videos. I think I watched one of Evan Shanks' videos recently. But then I binge watch like a whole week. I'll catch up on all his videos, catch up on TJ's videos, you know, IgnitionTube, DocDem3, Mighty Car Mods, all my other channels. I try to catch up on all those just by binge watching. But usually I'm pretty busy, which kind of sucks. Let's see. For whatever reason, YouTube keeps like shuffling around my comments, which is starting to piss me off. So, yeah, keep moving forward. See, that's cool, man. TJ has keep moving forward. I feel like Evan has be victorious. I don't have anything cool like that to say to people. Anything super motivational. I do have some advice that I was thinking about incorporating into videos. You know, just general life stuff, car stuff, finance stuff. But I've been waiting a little while to do that because I don't want to hop onto the like motivation bandwagon and be like, hey guys, you can do it too. So I do have some things that I'll probably put out later, but we'll see. But I do need a fancy catchphrase that I could say, and I can't use somebody else's, obviously. Yeah, the new tires, I'm speechless. I have the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires, for anybody who may not know, in 245 by 40 by their ZR18s. So those are amazing. Those are incredible. They are honestly the best tires I have ever owned. I've owned Bridgestone, Potenza, RE760 Sports, which are not the top of the line. They're kind of mediocre summer tires, in my opinion. I've had BF Goodrich KDW 2s. I've had the Hankook Ventus RS3s. Michelin blows all of those tires out of the water. And the KDWs and the Bridgestone Potenzas, those were both in 255s. So the tires that I have on my car right now, the PS4Ss, they're actually 10 millimeters narrower, each tire, and they still grip way more, which is awesome. And they were only $200 per tire, which I know sounds like a lot of money, probably. But for the tire that you get for that money is unbelievable. It's unreal. My KDW2s cost, I think, the same. I think they were like $200 when I got those. And those sucked. When they were warm, when you had some heat in the tires, they were pretty good. If you didn't, they sucked. You could easily lose control. Like if you stopped, ran into the store, whatever, you come back out and you start driving hard. If you don't have heat in the tires, they would just let go. I was very disappointed in them. And I think that's why they don't make them anymore. At least to the best of my knowledge, they don't offer those anymore. But yeah, the Michelin, oh my goodness. I will have a review coming out probably later in the summer. I still want to get a little bit more time driving them, but so far I've had them on for like a month maybe or so, and they're incredible. And it's not just from the performance aspect of, you know, you're able to drive hard and corner harder and stuff like that, but I feel a lot safer driving them. When I hit the brakes, I stop. You know, my ABS doesn't really activate. If you have crappy tires, there's a good chance that they won't slow down enough, and because they don't grip the road, and your ABS activates, which ABS is better than non-ABS, but ABS is still not as good as having good sticky tires that are able to grip and stop effectively. So I will have a video coming out on my Michelins, but man, they're awesome. I highly recommend them to anybody who's considering a new set of tires. I don't think you'll be disappointed, and if you are disappointed, then I don't know what to tell you, because they're awesome. I love them. Let's see. Yeah, new tires are just blew me away. Love them. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know TJ that well. I'll say this first of all. I'm not here to bash anybody. So don't even think that I'm going in that direction. You know, I'm not about that. I'm not about drama. I'm not about bashing people. I know there's some other drama for, you know, different channels or whatever, but I'm cool with most other car channels. I don't really have a beef with anybody, first of all. I really don't know TJ personally. I met him 2 years ago at after the Vintage Grand Prix at the subscriber meet in Pittsburgh. He was real cool then. He was real chill, hung out with everybody, just BS'd. You know, enjoyed the car meet. I met him again last year at the Vintage Grand Prix. Again, chill as hell, super cool guy. I have nothing bad to say about TJ. Obviously, I don't know him as well as some people, but I personally don't feel like he's changed all that much. I know a lot of people are saying that he's, you know, he just doesn't care about his subscribers anymore and this and that, but I'll be honest with you, from my own perspective, even my measly 5,000 subscribers, and I don't know, I have like 1,500 or so on Instagram, and I have like 99 followers on Twitter. It's hard for me sometimes to juggle my life between school and work and family and everything else that's going on and keep up with my subscribers and respond to every comment. I cannot imagine literally having 100 times as many subscribers and being able to keep up with everybody. It's just not possible. So you know, I really can't say more than that. I can't say anything, you know, more personally about that. I just don't know. But I do know a lot of the bigger guys, TJ, Evan, that dude in blue, you name them. They have so many comments, and you have to figure, especially when they have a lot more videos. Like right now I have like 130 something videos up, I think 136 maybe. The more videos you have up, the more people watch and the more comments you get. So you start getting several comments a day, especially if you have a video that, you know, like they put out that gets 100,000 views or whatever. It's just really hard to keep up with all those comments. So a lot of people take that personally. You know, that, you know, oh, so-and-so didn't respond to my comment. And maybe they left 5 comments, maybe they left 10 comments. And they start to take that personally, like, oh, he never responds to my comments, he doesn't care, whatever. But your 10 comments out of, you know, 50,000 comments isn't very many. And a lot of it is not personal. So don't take it personally. I don't know of any YouTubers who don't want to interact with their fans or who think that they're better than their subscribers. You know, everybody that I know who I'm friends with wants to honestly engage their subscribers, and they try to do that as best that they can. And that doesn't mean that you have to be a fan of everybody. I understand that not everybody's a fan of Evan, not everybody's a fan of TJ, not everybody's a fan of me, and that's cool. You know, everybody's has a different personality. Everybody gets along with different people. But that's my 2 cents on it. Maybe it's more like 5 or 6 cents. But yeah, it's just, you know, there's so much that goes on. There's so many people to try and keep up with. Sometimes it is difficult, and it's not necessarily that somebody, you know, is looking down on somebody or, you know, doesn't want to keep up. Buy something, dude. That's awesome. You are the first person, Justin Kelly, to use Super Chat. I'm new to Super Chat. Apparently, you could pay money to to have your comment pinned to the top, which is really funny. But that's awesome. I sincerely appreciate that $5. I honestly will be using it for a car part or something like that. I'll let you know what I buy with it. But yeah, that definitely helps. I do YouTube as a hobby. I'm not here to really make money. I do monetize my videos, but that's because it's extra money. But again, you know, money isn't my prime factor. That's not what I'm driving towards. If it was, I would have a donation page set up on my YouTube page. And not knocking people who do that, but I personally don't, because I'm not really here for money, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm only in it for the money. So I sincerely appreciate that, dude. That's really sweet. That's awesome. Oh man, I just lost all my comments. Here we go. Okay, yeah. TJ and David Patterson both grew up in my area. That's pretty cool, man. I did meet David 2 years ago at the same meet after the Vintage Grand Prix at the subscriber meet. David was super cool, awesome guy. In fact, the first if I knew who he was, if I knew he was going to blow up like he did, then I would have met him a long time ago. Subaru WRX fan actually used to live like down the street from me. So David, when he came here to film, they did the car swap, if I'm not mistaken. This is when like David had 2,000 subscribers. That's how long I've been following him. So he came up here to Pittsburgh, and him and WRX fan did a video together. And I think they swapped vehicles, if I remember right. This was like 3 years ago, maybe. I was up here when he was up here, and I saw a Smurf driving by my house. If I had any clue that that David was going to be who he is today, or if I even knew who he was, I definitely would have tracked him down, went over to my friend's house, and said what's up to him. I had no idea. I remember watching my friend WRX fan. He was like, "Hey, this is David Patterson, that dude in blue, and blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, who's this David Patterson guy?" Like, not that I didn't think he was cool, but I was like, "Okay, like he has 2,000 subscribers, cool." And this was long before I ever had a channel, right? So I mean, I wasn't the authority on anything by any means. But I was like, "Who's this David guy?" Like, "Oh, okay, his channel looks pretty cool." Whatever. And then I subscribed shortly after that, but I had no idea. I never ever would have thought that David would have exploded to where he was, and it's well deserved. I mean, his videos are amazing. He's another one that I have trouble keeping up with his videos because he's always cranking out content, and he's always cranking out reviews and stuff. But I really enjoy his videos. I always binge watch his stuff too. So that's awesome. Alfred says, "Are you planning to get another daily, like an SUV or a truck?" Yes and no. I should say yes, but not right now. I would love to have a truck. My mom had a truck. She had a Dodge Dakota Sport 4x4, which was pretty sweet. That's a pretty cool truck. I think it was a 99, if I remember correctly. I might be totally wrong. It could have been a 2003. I really don't remember. Actually, I lied. I think it might have been an 04, but I'm terrible with years, especially on vehicles that aren't mine. But that was a pretty cool truck. I definitely miss having a truck. She sold that. Actually, she traded it in. She bought a Legacy 3.6R, and she traded that in to get her 15 WRX about a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever. I definitely miss having a truck. I miss the utility of it. I probably wouldn't get an SUV. Maybe in the future, whenever I'm settled down with wife and kids. But if I was going to get an SUV, I'd probably get a crossover, even though I'm not really a fan of crossovers. I just like that crossovers are a little bit more lightweight and sporty than some of the SUVs. which SUVs are kind of phasing out too. At least the old ones, like the big Tahoes, like those are kind of, you know, overrated. They're kind of done. Like the Hummer H2s. I was behind a Hummer H2 the other day, and I was just thinking, man, that did not age well at all. Every time I see a Hummer H2, I think of Need for Speed Underground, where you could put rims on it and neon and race it around. And if you've ever played Underground 2, they were always trying to make the SUVs and the trucks as cool as the cars. And nobody ever drove the SUVs because they were freaking awful. Because the handling sucked, they had no power, and it was just something off of like Pimp My Ride, right? But that aside, yeah, I don't know about an SUV. I would love to get a truck. A truck would be really sweet. I don't know what kind of truck I would get. Honestly, my dream truck would probably be the Toyota 4x4 out of Back to the Future, if you know which one I'm talking about. If you don't, you need to watch that video. You need to watch that movie, because that's probably the sweetest truck I've ever seen in my life. I want that truck so bad, and I'm still mad at Toyota for not making it. But yeah, that's probably like my kind of truck, light duty. I'm really not a fan of the big, oversized, gaudy-looking trucks that are out right now. That hurts my heart. It's not my thing. Trucks now are so big and square and bulky and just oversized and gaudy looking that it's not my thing. Guys who lift trucks, that's cool. I'm not really a lifted truck type of guy, but overall I think trucks are just so big these days. And I'm more of a utility type of a person. If I'm buying a truck, I want it for a big bed. And so many trucks have just like chopped the bed in half to give you extra cabin space, which is kind of cool if that's what you want, but it's not really my thing. But yes, I would love to get a truck. My priority, however, is probably getting a house. Right now, I am living at home with my mom. Why? Because it's cheap. I'm in school. I'm not making a ton of money. I am using my GI Bill to go through college, which is awesome, and I'm very happy to have that. I feel very blessed to have that opportunity. But even still, you know, I'm trying not to spend like what $700-800 a month on rent and renting a place. Not gonna happen. I rented in the past, and you never get that money back. So right now, I'm living at home to save money. And I would love to get a house at some point. I don't know when exactly that will happen, but a house is going to come before another car. I know project cars are like all the rage right now, and everybody has a crazy project car going on, but that's not happening for at least a couple years in my future, unless I just explode on YouTube and I have like 100,000 subscribers or something overnight. Then maybe I'll be able to get the house and a car or something like that. But yeah, I would probably get a truck before I bought another car. Maybe. It really depends. I would love to have another daily. My car is old. It's 10 years old. And I just rebuilt the engine, and it's a blast to drive. But I would like to have another daily, so I'm not like killing my car every single day. You know, when you drive your car every single day, it puts a lot of miles on it. It puts a lot of wear and tear. So I would like to keep my car. I have no intentions of selling it ever. So I would like another daily. I don't know what I would want to get, but yeah, I would definitely like a truck, because I'm kind of like a handyman type of a person. I would like to work on my house whenever that happens, and it's hard to buy lumber and big things like that, things that are oversized, without having a truck. So I would really, really love to have a truck someday. But yeah, that's my plans for other cars aside from my STI. I would like another daily, but yeah, I would like a truck too. Let's see. Yeah, Hondas won't stop revving at me. Million views, and he he filmed it on his way to work. That is the best part about YouTube, and that's actually what I like about YouTube. That just cracks me up, dude. Random video, and I assure you, again, like, I don't know TJ, like, we're not best buddies or anything. I don't have a problem with him. We don't have a beef or anything. We're cool. But, you know, we're not like besties either. I really don't talk to him that much. But, man, it'll be a random ass video like that will go viral for whatever reason. whatever reason, and everybody loves it, blows up, gets a ton of views, 100,000 views, whatever, and it just goes crazy. Muscleverse Tuner, same thing. And again, I have no problem with him. I don't really watch his channel that regularly, but I know he came out with like, what was it, like shit Subaru owners say, right? And that one exploded, and he has a whole bunch of videos like that. And it's just him talking about random BS, right? And it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. But those videos just go viral. And sometimes it's the videos that you put the least amount of work into that just catch on and are really popular for whatever reason. I have no idea why that is. But it does kind of crack me up. So, yeah, more power to him. I do get a lot of Hondas revving at me, too. It's not always Hondas, either. It's some other random cars. Sometimes it's Cobalts. I usually get trucks. About 2 weeks ago, I had a Ford F-150 or so. Behind me, no exhaust. It was a V6, and this dude was revving at me. I looked at the car next to me. I thought it was the dude next to me revving. He inches up. He looks over at me. He's like, "No, dude, that isn't me." His girlfriend's like, "Yeah, dude, that's not us." I don't know who that is. I was like, "Oh, really? It's the freaking truck behind me? Are you kidding?" So yeah, I don't know why people rev at me, but people do it. So hey, more power to TJ for making that video, and more power to him for that just taking off like it did. That just cracks me up. What's up, Boostin'? It's good to see you in here. I see your guys' names, by the way. You know, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, I'm familiar with names. I don't always know exactly who you guys are, but I do recognize names. I do recognize that you know, spread some love, you leave comments, whatever. I try to interact with you guys as much as possible, so I do see you out there. That's awesome. I'm glad you love the vids. I'm glad Patrick said you like my channel. I'm glad you like my channel. My channel isn't for everybody. Some people love it, some people hate it. More power to the people that hate it. I really don't give a damn. But if you like it, that's awesome. I try to give you guys a mix of some things that are entertaining with still putting out videos. You know, as far as how-tos, installs, knowledge-based stuff. Because I know there's a lot of guys out there who are just getting into their first car or whatever, and they don't know things. Or, you know, they might just not be as experienced. I'm hoping to do a lot more detailing videos this summer. I know I got a lot of good feedback on my last detailing videos that I did like last summer. So I plan on doing a lot more of that stuff. But I try to have a good balance of everything. When am I going to do... Whoa, I'm missing stuff. Okay, what's new with the STI? Yeah, Boostin', if you missed it, I gave you like a brief rundown at the very beginning of this stream, which was like an hour ago. Plans are coils. I have Fortune Auto 500 coils coming in, but they're custom. They're going to be really sweet. I'll do a boxing of that. Hopefully that's in the next week or two. I don't know if I mentioned it in this live stream yet, but I do have a rear diffuser coming in. That'll probably be about 2 weeks or so. I have an impact beam, crash beam for my front bumper coming in tomorrow? No, Thursday. It's coming in Thursday, which again, that's probably going to be the most boring install video ever. I think a crash beam is probably the most boring safety device ever, by the way. You know, seatbelts have little mechanisms in them and stuff. Airbags explode and stuff. You got racing seats, you got harnesses, you got helmets, and then you have like a front crash beam, which is boring as hell and never gets seen. But I do need to install a new crash beam because mine is rusting, and it's staining my driveway, and it's staining my front bumper. Steering wheel is right next to me. That's coming in probably in maybe the next month or so once I'm out of school. I plan on installing that. Hopefully that goes smoothly. Fingers crossed. And I have more quick latches coming in. Actually, I already have them. I just need to install them on my bumper. I'm going to install them on the top of my bumper so that the whole bumper is quick detachable. I think that's about it. That's all of the plans that I have for my car. Whenever Cobb releases their flex fuel, whenever that is, I'll probably get that. It won't happen right away probably because I'll still have to pay for the flex fuel. I'll have to pay for a tune, schedule a tune, all that stuff. But I would like to go flex fuel. aside from that, there's really not much else going on with my car. The paint, I didn't touch on this, I know that. I still haven't talked to the shop recently, but I plan on getting the hood scoop, the fender, and my roof repainted. Hopefully this summer, hopefully before Vintage Grand Prix. That's the plan, but we'll see. That's really all I have planned for my car right now. Ballo657 says, when are you going to make the engine detail video? Firstly, it's going to be sometime after I get my GoPro fixed, because that's probably going to be used to film a good portion of that. Hopefully, we'll see. But that'll be probably in the next month or so, once I'm out of school. I just really need a full free day, because filming stuff takes easily 3 to 4 times as long as actually doing it. So just cleaning the engine bay by myself would probably take 1 to 2 hours maybe. Mine is filthy, by the way, so that's like doing everything. Start to finish is probably about an hour to 2 hours. Trying to film that and show what I'm doing is probably going to make it like 3 to 4 hours easily. So I would prefer to have a nice, warm, sunny day where I have nothing else going on. You know, where I could take off my, you know, the air filter, clean that, and just get the whole thing just worked through. And so yeah, probably the next month or so is probably when that's going to come out. Maybe, we'll see. Yeah, Underground 2 was awesome. Underground 2 was one of the best racing games, and I enjoyed playing that for years and years and years. I have a copy of it, but it's all scratched up and it doesn't really work. But Underground 2, in my opinion, was honestly the best Need for Speed out there. It didn't have the best graphics, it didn't necessarily have the best cars, it didn't even necessarily have the best storyline, even though the storyline was pretty sweet. But that game was the most fun for me. They had drag racing, they had like drifting, if I remember correctly. You could do some drifting stuff. It was just sweet, man. It was a really sweet game. It was a fun game. Not to get too off topic, but it's like Halo. Out of all the Halos, I will say I've never played Halo 4. I never played anything beyond Halo Reach. So Halo Reach, Halo 4, anything after that I have not played. The last game that I have is Halo 3. Halo 1 is by far my most favorite Halo out of all of them. The other ones are cool. The other multiplayers are cool. But Halo 1 is just badass. I just played through that game twice. Once on Heroic and once on Normal. Twice in the past week. And I love it. It's the best game ever. And you know what? It's like the most simple. You could play the same maps backwards and forwards. You know, they reuse some of the same maps and stuff like that. Storyline is better. It's just freaking sweet, man. Halo 1 is the best game, in my opinion, the best Halo. Need for Speed Underground, I think, was the best Need for Speed. Forza, I actually really liked Forza 2. Forza 3 was good. Forza 4 was like basically the same game, and they do get better. I don't like downloadable content. That's what pisses me off with Forza. Forza 2, in my opinion, was the best because you got the full freaking game. You know, you had all your cars. If I'm not mistaken, it's been a while since I played Forza 2. But, you know, you had all your cars and you could just play. I never even finished Forza 2. I have Forza 3 and Forza 4, and both of those I didn't even hardly start because to do anything you have to download a bunch of freaking cars, which is ridiculous. You pay $60 for like a half of a game, then you have to pay them another $80 to download, you know, car packages, and then you still don't have the whole game. And a lot of companies just like get lazy and they just stop making content for it, which is ridiculous. Okay, that's the end of my rant on video games, but yeah. Underground 2 was the best Underground, the best Need for Speed in my opinion. Oh, Need for Speed, I think it was the third one, Hot Pursuit, that game was legit. Before Underground came out, I played that game a lot. And I was always running from the cops. I loved the spike strips in that game. But that's all I have to say about that. That's scene. That's it for video games. Your mom and you were talking about trading your WRX for an STI. That's a cool trade, man. I mean, if you could find one for a good deal, it's one of those things, it's really hard to debate anymore which one's better. The 15 Plus, I think the WRX is the better buy for the money. I've driven my mom's 15 WRX, and it's awesome. But if you want an STI, go for an STI. When I was looking to buy my STI, I had a lot of people telling me, oh, you should just get a WRX because it's cheaper and you could upgrade everything and you could make it just like an STI. And I was seriously considering buying a WRX for a while. I just wanted a Subaru so bad. I didn't care if it was a WRX or an STI. But I picked my STI. I held out and bought one because I really, truly wanted an STI. So if you want an STI, don't let anyone tell you that you shouldn't buy one or it's not a good car or whatever. If you want a WRX, rock a WRX. If you want an STI, get an STI. They're both great cars, and to each his own. You know, some people care that the newer STIs still have the EJ motor. Some people like that, some people don't like that, but whether you're buying a new or an old WRX or STI, I say just go for whatever you want. Obviously, you want to find one that's in good condition, that's been taken care of as best as it could have been. With reasonable miles, you want to make sure the maintenance has been done on it, and you also want to check with your insurance. Sometimes, you know, different cars cost different amounts, and people go out and they'll like buy an STI, and then they realize that their car insurance is like $200 a month. So just make sure you know all that stuff is good to go. But yeah, I'd say rock it, man. Rock an STI if you want. That'd be sweet. Yeah, a C10 muscle truck. I don't know. I can't say that I'm not a Chevy guy. I'm not a truck guy in general. That's not to say that I don't like trucks, but I'm not like an aficionado on trucks. I don't know very much about them. I don't know very much about all the different models and years and stuff like that. I am familiar with the C10 though. I do know what you're talking about. But muscle trucks are pretty cool. There's a lot of older trucks. I do like older trucks. I will say that. At least from the utility standpoint of them, not necessarily based on looks. But the trucks from the 80s and 90s were legit. They were like all performance, man. They were all utility. And I really miss that. I really miss like old farm trucks that just had like a huge ass bed and you could put whatever the hell you want in it. And, you know, trucks like that they're not like that anymore. Trucks now are more of like a status statement. Trucks have become the new status car, right? People buy Mercedes, Beamers, Porsches, whatever to make a statement to say, hey, I'm rich, I have money, or whatever. And I feel like trucks are the new Escalade, right? Everybody was rolling in Escalades or Denali's. You remember when Denali's were the big thing? Everybody had to have a Denali. It was on every reality TV show. And I'm not saying that they still aren't cool, but they're not like they were like 10 years ago. I kind of feel like that's how trucks have become, you know. Even though it's like an F-150 or a Silverado or whatever, you know, I just feel like trucks are that now. They've become like a fashion statement, a status symbol. And I'm just, when it comes to trucks, I'm not saying they can't look good, but I'm all about utility, man. I really am. Yeah, you have an '08 hatch. That's really sick. I'm not big on hatches personally. I love the utility of them, but I'm not a big hatchback guy. I've always liked sedans. To each his own. Hatches are sweet. I definitely like hatches, and I might buy one at some point. But yeah, hatches are pretty cool. So yeah, and you said you got a '99 leggy Outback. I love old Subarus. I really do. I don't know if I'll ever buy one, like an older Subaru, but older Subarus like 99, 2000, or even prior to that, the old Leggies are sweet. I really like the old Legacies. I love seeing them driving around still. There's just something about that car. There's something about the old Subaru that's really kind of endearing, and it kind of just lasts, and it just looks really cool. 07 STI into a show car. That could be done. It's probably not going to be cheap. Of course, building any car into a show car is not going to be cheap. But that would be really cool. And yeah, 08 to 11 STI hatch for a daily would be sweet. 98 2.5 RSTI, that would be sick. One of my favorite videos on Drive is the video where Matt Farah's comparing the, I think the two JDM, the like 2.5 RSs, if I'm not mistaken. I think one was like STI swapped, or maybe they were both STI swapped. I don't recall. It's been several months since I saw the video. But if you go to Drive, there's, I think it's Tuned, is the series. There's two freaking sweet, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the, just, I don't know, they're STI swapped, RB22s or whatever. I'm having a total mental break right now, but, those were sweet. I do love old Subarus. Yeah, that's definitely not bland, like, dude, bland as far as mods would be like putting an air freshener in. Anything beyond that is pretty sweet. Everybody has different plans. Everybody has different mods that they want to do. So that's really, really sick. And, you know, a lot of people think that, like, their mods aren't super cool or whatever, but everybody's doing something different. So that's awesome. You know, there's a channel, Austin Leonard Garage, and he started out really small. Now he, I think, just passed 2,000 subscribers recently. He does a lot of videos on older cars. He has like a Volkswagen bus, which, you know, you look at that and it's like, okay, it's just a bus, but that's freaking sweet, dude. Everybody loves different things, so don't think that you need a certain type of a car to do anything. And that's to anybody who's thinking about starting YouTube or whatever. Like, don't think that you need an STI or a freaking Lamborghini. Like some of these channels out here have Lambos in their 16 and they're making videos. Don't think that you need to have a Lambo to get people to follow you, man. You really don't. And I think that's like one of the biggest misconceptions about YouTube. You make videos and people will watch. And the more videos you make, the better you will get. So my advice to any of you guys is just to jump into it. But don't ever think that your mods aren't cool. Everybody's at a different position in life. Everybody has different cars. So, I mean, I think those mods are pretty sweet, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Ammo NYC. He says, A13 Taz says, speaking of detailing vids, Ammo NYC is a great way to find awesome detailing tips. Honestly, Ammo NYC is where I got a lot of my detailing knowledge. I love Larry to death. I love his detailing mind. He is very obsessive, and that's exactly what you want in a detailer. That's why he's so good, because it's all in the details, and there's so many little things that, you know, can cause problems if you overlook it. I just got a whole bunch of ammo cleaning products, which I will be showing off in future videos. Again, probably, you know, once I'm out of school and I have a full day to set aside and really wash my car, I need to wash my car, and I'm going to use his Reflex product, which is like a base coat, and Ammo Skin, which is like a polymer sealant, and both of those help protect your car. So you'll be seeing plenty of that. But one thing that he really touched on in one of his videos, or multiple videos, is his product called Hydrate. He formulated it specifically to dry your car. So you use Hydrate in conjunction with a microfiber towel to dry the car, and that really helps cut down on scratches, because a lot of scratches come when people dry their cars. A lot of people like to use chamois, which are very absorbent, and I have used chamois in the past. I've learned a lot from my own mistakes too. You know, I've watched Larry's videos on his channel. His channel's Ammo NYC, by the way. If you search on YouTube, you'll find it. I used to use a chamois when I was new to cars, and I loved it because it soaked up all the water and it didn't leave any watermarks. Little did I know that that was actually causing a lot of scratch marks in my car. Both cars, my STI and my Eclipse, which I owned previously, were already scratched to hell when I bought them. So, you know, I didn't really notice the scratches. They were already there. But the problem is when you use a chamois, it soaks up all the water and then it's dry. So that chamois, even if it is a little bit soft, it's dry on dry paint, which isn't cool. And some people use the water blades, which is ugh, horrendous. I used that, again, when I was new to cars. I think when I first got my STI, I didn't know any better. I was an idiot. I was like, oh, what's this water blade thing? You just wipe off the water. Okay, that's cool. But the problem is there's always residual dirt on your car. There's always going to be, places that you miss, or there's going to be pollen on your car, dust on your car, whatever. The squeegee's going to be dirty. And whenever you go over your car, it just scratches it to hell. So all of Larry's products are formulated to, solve issues. And all of his videos are fantastic because he explains how each of his products works, and he addresses each of the issues that those products are meant to take care of, So I really appreciate Larry's, his mind, his obsession, his obsessive nature, and I love that he explains what all of his products do. Beyond his products, and the other thing that I should say is he has videos explaining how to use all of his products, but he, in several videos, will explain different substitutes that you could use to his products, so that you could still clean your car. There's a lot of detailers out there that say, oh, you need X product. Here, when you use this product of mine, you just do this, and this does, it does whatever magical stuff. And they always say, like, you have to specifically use their product. Where Larry, a lot of times, he'll give you like an alternative. He'll give you a substitute. He'll show different ways of detailing different things. So I did learn a lot of my tips from Larry's channel, and I will always give credit where credit is due. Yeah, he has amazing detailing videos. It's just he's made me a lot more obsessive about my car and about my mom's car. When she got her new WRX, I was like, don't touch it. We're going to clean this right. We're going to wash it right. I'm going to show you how to wash right, with the 2-bucket method and everything. So I was able to teach my mom how to wash her car better, because I come from a family that was never into cars. We're not a car family. We never really had any classic cars or anything like that. We used one bucket, yo. We used one bucket and the janky-ass sponge that you find at AutoZone. We actually had old sponges, which they don't even have them anymore, really. Now you see a lot of microfiber sponges, where it's like a sponge wrapped in microfiber, at least. We always had like the random garbage, generic foam sponges, right? That you see, like, you'll find them at Home Depot for like drywall or whatever. We would just use those random sponges, one little dinky bucket, whatever random soap, and yeah, you just wash the whole car. There really wasn't much to it. So Larry has opened my eyes to a lot of different things when it comes to detailing, and I appreciate that. I want to give credit where credit is due, and I want to pass on that knowledge to you guys when I can. Dude, I forgot. Justin Kelly says the hydraulics in Need for Speed 2. I forgot they had that, dude. They had hydraulics in Grand Theft Auto. I think it was Vice City too, right? It might have been San Andreas, but I'm pretty sure it was Vice City. You could have You could be freaking driving a freaking lowrider around, dude. Those games were the best. I miss those games. Those games were awesome. GTA Vice City was like the best Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion, for a long time. And I'm still mad. I haven't played GTA 5. I don't have an Xbox One. I don't have a PS4. So the most recent GTA I have played was GTA 4. I'm still mad that you can't go into malls like you could in Vice City. In Vice City, you could go into like a bunch of different buildings and stuff. Now you really can't do that. You could go into like, Burger Shot and get a burger or something like that. But, getting off on video games again. But yeah, the hydraulic... Just Need for Speed 2 as a whole. That game was freaking hilarious, man. The hydraulics, the neon, the decals, the random sponsorship the sponsorships, right? I would just put random decals on my car. You always had to have the sponsor roll up, the lineup, or the sponsor roll call, where you would have like the sponsors down your door and across the bottom of your door, like you were actually like racing or something. I always had it. I would just pick the coolest logos. I didn't care what the company was or what they were sponsoring. I just picked the coolest logos. So I always had like a Falcon tires on my windshield, because I thought the Falcon looked cool. I I didn't even care about anything else. But Need for Speed 2 was sweet. I also played Midnight Club. That game was kind of cool. The mechanics in that game were weird. They were really weird and sketchy, but that game was kind of fun too. Yeah, so you're trading your WRX because you don't like the color. That's a legit reason, man. That's a legit reason. And you don't like how limited you are for power. Yeah, and you're trying to build the dream garage. Yeah, if you don't like the color of your car, go for it. Like, that, in my opinion, is one of the biggest reasons to own a particular car. If you don't like the color of your car, like, you know, what's the point? And I never understood why people buy white cars, black cars, and like silver cars for the resale value. If you want that specific color, then rock on. But there are so many people who buy like gray cars, silver cars, beige cars, because they're worried about resale value. Who the hell cares? Buy a car that you're going to enjoy. Buy a car that when you walk out, you're going to be like, man, I really love that color, you know? Don't buy a car for the next owner. That's stupid. That's really dumb to be, you know, have a color that you're not really thrilled about, that you're going to be looking at every day and you're really not happy with. Get a color that you love. Now, if it's your first car, you might not have a choice. You know, my first Eclipse was red. That was way too showy for me. I never thought I would own a red car. I actually grew to love the red because it was just so bright on a sunny day. It was crazy. I really grew to love that red, but that was too flashy for me. But it was my first car, and I didn't have a choice. But if you do have the choice, I always say go for whatever color you want. And yeah, WRXs are a little bit limited on power. STIs are somewhat limited too, but the WRX is definitely more limited than the STI. WRXs start to run into issues, typically speaking, when you hit around 300, 350 to the wheels. Again, it depends on the tune and it depends on how you drive it and a whole bunch of other factors. But once you hit that like 350 wheel horsepower range, you start to run into issues with the transmission. The 5-speeds are a little bit brittle. You can pick up more blast plates, which help bolt the transmission together. They basically just reinforce it so it doesn't bow out, which is typically what happens from my understanding, is the bell housing for the transmission actually expands a little bit and it doesn't keep the gears in place like it needs to. So more blast plates can help beef that up. But you get a lot more with the STI, honestly. And I feel like that's something that people don't really talk about. You get the 6-speed transmission with the STI, which is almost bulletproof. I've seen them handle up to like 600 wheel horsepower from the factory without any mods. And the axles. The STI has 6 thicker axles, thicker wheel hubs, beefier wheel bearings, and a whole bunch of other things. So the STI is a definitely an upgrade, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, a front mount is pretty cool. Wow, my voice is done. I just like lost my voice. Front mounts are cool. It really depends on what your setup is and how much power you're making and where you live. Which is why I detest the forums. Because you go on the forums and you'll get 100 different answers. People saying, yes, you should do it. You have other people saying, no, you shouldn't. But something that a lot of people don't talk about is a lot of it depends on where you live. Evan Shanks got a lot of hate because he went with a front mount intercooler. You know, and people said, oh, that's stupid. You're still on the factory turbo. There's no reason to go for a front mount. And that's correct in that term, in that aspect of it. That's why I went with a top mount intercooler. Because a top mount is able to support the power level that I'm at. The difference is, Evan, at the time at least, was in Texas, and now I live in PA. PA doesn't get as hot as Texas. There's a lot of guys down in South Carolina who also run front mount intercoolers because you get heat soak. So whenever you're sitting in traffic for any period of time, the top mount sits on top of your engine and it just gets heat soaked. So that is a good reason to go with a front mount, regardless of your power. Typically that does add some turbo lag, but But yeah, it really depends on your setup. Every car is different, and I hate when people are like, "Oh, don't do this mod, that's stupid, or whatever it is," you know. So yeah, a front mount, an AOS air oil separator, and a turbo. That's pretty legit in my book. That's a good start. Word of advice, WRX Nate, what's up, man? WRX Nate says, word of advice: be careful buying a modded Subi. Be careful buying any Subaru out there. And it's really hard to tell with a lot of Subarus. If you're buying a used Subaru, I could pretty much guarantee it's been hooned on, it's been, you know, hammered on, pretty much. Unless some grandma owned it for the entire, you know, time that it was owned. And even then, I don't know if I would trust it. Pretty much every Subaru has been hooned on and thrashed. What a lot of guys do is they'll buy a Subaru, they'll enjoy it, they'll mod it, they'll have a good time with it. Then they'll get tired of it. The upkeep starts to become too much. Whatever, they you know, have a financial situation and they need to sell it, and they revert everything back to stock. And you sell it, and people will say, "Oh, look, it has no mods," and they'll think it's like a brand new Subaru. You know, wasn't driven too hard or anything. Little do they know that everything was already installed and then uninstalled. But yeah, if you're ever buying a modded Subaru, it can be a can of worms, or you could get lucky. I got lucky with mine. Mine ran well for years, and the first issues that I had with it were not due to, they weren't really due to a lack of maintenance or, you know, being driven too hard or anything like that. So you can definitely get lucky, but if you're buying a used Subaru, all bets are off. My best recommendation would be to, you know, if you have a friend who knows Subarus, have them look it over. Have a Subaru-specific mechanic look it over. I don't even know if I would trust a dealer to do it. If you have a local performance shop, I'd recommend they do it. If you trust them, you know, have them run a compression test on it, if all that's possible, before you buy it. But yeah, buying a modded Subaru, buying any modded car is asking for trouble, honestly. That's hit or miss. Boostin says, would you ever import any car? Yes, I would. I would love to import a car. I don't know what you have to do legally as far as all the paperwork. I haven't looked into it because I'm not really looking to import any cars right now. I have other priorities, like getting a house. But I would love to import a car. I would love to import a bunch of cars. R34 Skyline, once they're legal here, which I have a feeling that those are just going to stay insanely high. I think right now they go for about $80,000, which is pretty insane. I think once you're able to import them, that might drop a little bit, but it very well may stay the same, and it may even go up, honestly. The car market is crazy. It's all about supply and demand, and you know, once they import them, they will be available, but I think they're going to be stupid expensive, just like the Supras are, 240s are. You know, it's just, there's a lot of cars out right now that cost way more than they should, to include Evos and STIs. I just had this conversation with one of my followers on Instagram last night. Actually, we were talking about how insanely expensive STIs and Evos are right now, and it's all supply and demand, really. But yeah, I would love to import an R34 Skyline, an NSX, like a legit JDM Honda NSX would be pretty sweet. I'm not really sure what else there would be. I wouldn't mind importing some other, like, European cars. I don't have anything in mind right now, but I would totally import a car if it was feasible for me to do, if I could afford it and I had a place to keep it. I'm all for that. That would be sweet. Yeah, you have a friend who's going to look at it. That's legit. That's my best advice. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting. Sometimes you do get a can of worms, but having somebody who can look it over and at least give you an opinion on it, who's been around Subarus, that's going to help you out a lot. Yeah, he's pushing 400. That's sweet, man. That's about where I am. I need to get my car retuned. I know my car right now has some power left on the table. It was tuned, and when it was tuned, I had a leaking blow-off valve, which I was unaware of, and I had a small exhaust leak starting. So my car is tuned, it runs fine, my AFRs are great, but I think there is some more power left on the table. So I do hope to get mine planned, or mine tuned again soon at some point. I don't know when. Comes down to money, I have other priorities. My car runs great right now, so I'm kind of leaving it at that, but I would like more power. Oh man, Pat, what? Patrick says, do another live stream soon. Gotta go. Someone at work is getting arrested. Wow. That's the craziest thing that's ever happened in a live stream. That I have nothing to say about that, man. That's not good that they're getting arrested. You can check out the stream whenever it goes live on my channel. I enjoy the questions. I enjoy you hanging out. But, dude, that's freaking crazy. Yeah, dude, tell us what happened. Tell us what's going on, man. Give us the update. Yeah, Justin says he has the GTA 5 for the 360. I can't commit to that. I'm in this position where I hate video games. I'm joking, but I kind of do. I'm pretty busy. I have school. I have, well, school during the school year, not during the summer, obviously. But I have school. I have work. I have another job coming up in this summer. I just got a job. You guys are actually the first to hear about this. So I'm in the Air National Guard part-time. Most of you guys know that, I think. I just got a job part-time working for minimum wage at an ice cream shop, which I'm really excited about, actually. My mom is in the process of buying a local ice cream shop, and I'm going to be working there this summer. So that's going to cut into my time. I'm very excited about that. The ice cream at this shop is so legit. It's delicious. It's honestly the best ice cream that I've had. And I'm not just saying that. But I'll be working there part-time, minimum wage, which is cool. I'm happy with that because I'll be learning the business. And hopefully in the future I'll be able to be like a manager or something like that. So that's all good. I'm good with that. But I spend a lot of time doing other stuff. Obviously, filming YouTube videos, trying to keep up with other YouTubers and stuff like that. So I don't play video games very often. Whenever I do dust them off, I dust off older games. I love breaking out my Sega Genesis, playing some Sonic the Hedgehog, some other games. Like I said, Halo 1, that's like my go-to. I just love running around with a pistol, capping freaking aliens, blowing away the flood with a shotgun. I play some Call of Duty. I have like Modern Warfare 3, I think is the most recent game that I have. All my games are old, dude. All of them. I will get it probably an Xbox One whenever the price drops even more. But the way they've been releasing games with so much downloadable content, where you have to get online, you have to play with other people, you have to get DLC, all that stuff pisses me off, honestly. And I'm sick of it. Like, I come from a time where you could buy a console for a few $100. You could pick up games for $50. And I get the games are more complicated now, but they don't even make the games. Like, half the game is now downloadable content, so what the hell am I paying $60 for? I would love to get GTA 5, but I will not buy GTA 5 or Horizon 2. I don't know if they offered that on the 360, but I won't buy any new generation games for the 360. Basically because the 360 is limited compared to the Xbox One. And the same goes for PlayStation and PS4. I actually have a PlayStation 2 still. I don't have a 3 or a 4. The last time I bought a game for an older console, it was Need for Speed. What was it? It wasn't Hot Pursuit. Was it Hot Pursuit? Yeah. The one before Need for Speed Carbon. I lied. It was Carbon. Need for Speed Carbon. You remember when it came out with Auto Sculpt? You could just make the bumper big as hell for no reason. And that was their idea of modifying stuff. Yeah. The Need for Speed Carbon, I believe it was, I bought for Xbox when 360 came out because I didn't have a 360. And that game sucked. I saw it on my Xbox, and then I saw other people playing it on a 360, and I just won't do it. So I would love to get GTA 5, but it would have to be for the Xbox One whenever that comes out. I don't know what Patrick's talking about, yo. Alright. Where? See, I hate this, man. YouTube, just like, every time somebody posts a new comment, for whatever reason, it just, like, moves all my comments and I lose my place, which pisses me off. Yeah, I need to play GTA 5. I've played GTA 4 for the 360, but, yeah. I'm not a fan. If I'm playing GTA 5, it needs to be on an Xbox One, and I'm not ready to commit to an Xbox One. I have other priorities. I have other ways that I want to spend my money. Like on new crash beams for my car. And new ammo products. That was like a nice $300. But I think it'll be worth it. Let's see. Are you going to any meets in New England? Like Wicked Big Meat or Broke East. Maybe. I might go up with DocDam 3. Nothing's official, by the way. But I might go to the Boston meet that they're supposed to have this year. I'm not sure when that is or what's going on with that, but I'm open to that. I haven't been to Wicked Big Meat or any of the other ones. I know they have, what is it, like Boxer Fest. There's a ton of car meets. There's a ton of Subaru meets that I haven't gone to. Usually I happen to be working that weekend, and when I'm not working, I don't know, like, I'm a car guy. I love seeing other cars, but I feel like a good car meet is a small car meet. I love awesome, like, huge car meets. Vintage Grand Prix is kind of different from those car meets. I'm not a fan of waiting like an hour or 2 hours, waking up at like 4 in the morning to go to a car meet, honestly. That's just me. I don't know. I'll see. If I'm off, I might go to some meets. I'm not a fan of driving like 10 hours to a car meet either. I'm just too busy for that. Like, I have so much else going on that it's probably not going to happen. But I am open to it. We'll have to see. You know, I would like to go to one of those big car meets at some point. I just don't know when it's going to happen, really. Yeah. A13 Taz says, Subis and Evos are expensive as hell up here in Oregon and Washington. It depends on where you live. They're expensive up there. I know they're expensive around here in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, in the Northeast. They're a little bit cheaper when you go down south, and I think that's because everything is flat and level. So those people don't have as much fun in cars, typically, generally speaking, as you know, as Northerners do. People in the North typically have windier roads and stuff like that. So a 400 horsepower STI up here in Pittsburgh is a whole lot more fun than it was down in South Carolina, where everything is flat and level. So it really depends on where you live. Also, up in the north, you have the snow seasons, winter, and a lot of people like Subarus for the snow, where in the south you don't really have to worry about that, so people don't care about all-wheel drive as much. So it definitely depends on where you live. Prices can fluctuate quite a bit throughout the country. Yeah, John Daniel Martin says, he's glad I'm doing this. I'm glad you're glad that I'm doing this. My thoughts on long service intervals for new cars that are advertising. Would you stick with that advertising or the old 5,000 miles or 6 months? I think it depends on the vehicle. I think it depends on what oil you are running. A lot of synthetic oils these days are really, really good, and they just don't shear down like they used to. I run synthetic on my car. I have AMSOIL 10W40. It's very high in zinc, full synthetic, obviously, and I change my oil every 3,000 miles. I might go like a little bit over that, like 3,100, 3,200 miles if I'm really busy and I don't get a chance to change the oil. But I just change my oil every 3,000 miles. That's really what I've heard is best from pretty much every tuner and every performance shop that I've talked to. My mom has a 15 WRX, and she gets her oil changed at More Performance, or I change it for her, whichever. And she is running, I think it's Brad Penn right now, the FSGS, if that's the correct acronym for it. But she's running Brad Penn. I don't remember what weight it is specifically. But hers, she changes, I think, like every 5,000 miles or so. I think Subaru recommends like 7,500 miles or something, which is kind of crazy. They say that the new FA20 doesn't really need an oil change every, 3,000 miles or whatever. So with new technologies, I think it is possible, but I personally still recommend, me personally anyway, I recommend, changing it more often than that. At least on my own vehicles, I would, just for peace of mind. That's just kind of where I stand on that. I don't know. I'm not saying that you're doing damage by doing the recommended service interval. You're probably not. You're probably okay. But I like peace of mind whenever I'm changing stuff. So I'd rather change it more often than not. You're not going to damage your car by changing the oil too often. You're just going to spend more money on oil. But I'd rather do that than have to, replace my engine or turbo or other components sooner than I should have to because, I'm running dirty oil. And that's another thing that I feel like some manufacturers don't really mention. With oil, when it comes to oil shears down, it breaks down, and it doesn't lubricate as well as it gets old. But also can pick up a lot of carbon. It can pick up gasoline and other things as well. So all that slush, that slurry, is going to be in your oil. And I did notice this past winter, obviously winter is very high in humidity. My oil was kind of milkshaky, if you know what I mean. Oil, whenever it gets water in it, it turns like a milkshake color, like a chocolate color. And that's not good. So that's another reason that I always recommend, changing your oil often, because if it has moisture in it, that's not good. So if you change it often, then it's not gonna be that big of a factor. Is letting it just sit and go for like 7,000 miles or whatever it is. Let's see. Lost my place again. Oh man, we're already at like an hour and 50 minutes. So I think I'm going to wrap up in probably about a half hour or so. We'll see. I guarantee you I'm not going 6 hours like I did last time. I lost my voice the whole following day. I was sucking down throat lozenges like crazy. Let's see, yeah. Matty Rex says, do you think a BRZ is a good first car? Yeah, little power and not too fast. I think a BRZ is a great first car. And I don't know where they are right now as far as insurance prices, and I'm not sure where the market is for like how much they cost. I do think there are better first cars out there right now, at least ones that are a little bit cheaper, that still make good power. But yeah, I think a BRZ is a pretty sweet first car. It depends on where you live. I know WRX fan had his in the winter, and he said with good snow tires it wasn't bad. So if you're a new driver, a rear-wheel drive car is probably not the best to learn on in the winter. But I don't think it's that bad. If you're not in the north, that's obviously not an issue. But I don't think it's a bad first car. I think it's a pretty sweet first car. But again, it comes down to what your monthly payment's going to be, if you could find one for a good price, and what your insurance is. I have no idea what the insurance is on a BRZ. I'm guessing that they just consider it to be like a sports car, not really like a high performance car. So it's not gonna. I doubt it would cost as much as like a WRX or an STI or something like that. But insurance, sometimes it'll surprise you. So it might be high insurance. I don't know. But aside from that, I think it would be a pretty good car. I can't say that it would be a bad car. Yeah, I think it'd be good to learn on. A13 Taz says, thank you for your service. thank you. I appreciate it. Just needed a job. And yeah, there's a lot of guys who do a lot more crazy shit than I do. So yeah, I thank you. Thanks for thanking me, but it's really not necessary. Where am I? Yeah, Xbox. Justin says Xbox Ones are dirt cheap. I bought mine for $279. You get 500 gig. Yeah, for under $250. They are. Right now, $150 for me is cheap. You know, even that's not super cheap, I should say. I'm talking like $50 cheap. And no, I should say it. They're all right. Okay, you could get a good one. I think they're around like 150, 200 ballpark. I think at GameStop you could buy used ones, you know, for pretty cheap. And once you buy the Xbox, pick up a couple games and an extra controller or whatever, or Xbox Live, you're looking at about like $300 or so, which is not bad. That's a pretty good price. But that's $300 that I don't have right now. That's $300. I should say that not that I don't have it, but that's $300 that I'd rather spend somewhere else, personally. So yeah, it's not like it's crazy expensive or anything. I just rather spend that money somewhere else. And for me personally, I don't have much time to play video games anyhow. So I feel like I wouldn't really get my money back out of it. I'd rather just save my money and spend it somewhere else. So yeah. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I don't know why people are getting arrested, dude. What's the ice cream shop? I want to stop by. Okay, cool. My mom doesn't own it yet. She's supposed to take over in June, and it's pretty cool. Like her and the current owner. The current owner is basically just retiring. She has owned it for 25 years. But she's going to stay on as a worker, and she's going to help, you know, just help with the transition basically for the next year or so, for this next season, even after my mom takes over. The shop is called Remember When. I don't know the address currently. It's over in, it's on Chartiers Avenue, so it's over in, like across the Wind Gap Bridge, if you're familiar with that. If you're familiar with the McKees Rocks area of Pittsburgh, it's over that way. Remember When has a Facebook page, and they also have a website. I recommend checking out the Facebook page, though. I think that's more user-friendly. When my mom does take over, if that happens, she's going to revamp a bunch of stuff. So that's going to be sweet. I'm pretty excited about that. But yeah, we'll see how things go. I'm really excited because the ice cream's like freaking sweet, man. It's awesome. But yeah, feel free to stop by. Feel free to tell people that you know me or whatever. You know, sometimes people will bump into my mom, or my mom will be talking to somebody about cars, and some of you bros are out there. Some of you people are like, yeah, I watch Hawkeye, and that's freaking crazy, man. That's awesome. So yeah, whenever we do get this ice cream shop, it's actually going to be in my mom's name. She's going to own it and everything, but I'll be working there. It's not really in a place where there's much room to have like car meets or anything like that, but I'll see what we can do. I would like eventually, maybe in the next year or so, if we could get like an ice cream truck to like take ice cream somewhere, then maybe we could do like I don't know, like a cars and ice cream or something like that. But yeah, the name of the shop is Remember When. And the woman, the current owner, has all her own recipes for a bunch of hard ice cream, and they also sell soft serve, Dole Whip. They have some yogurt, I believe. A whole bunch of cool stuff. So that's pretty excited. That's pretty sweet. I'm excited about that. Yeah, Matty Rex says, I'm about to dip. Peace, man. Hey, if any of you guys have to bounce, that's cool. I'm probably going to bounce pretty soon myself. But I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I'm probably way behind on comments, which is crazy. But it's really hard to keep up with everything. And YouTube just keeps shuffling it, which sucks. SEMA is a pretty small meet. I've never been to SEMA. I definitely want to go to SEMA. I think SEMA's really cool. There's a lot of new cutting-edge stuff that gets revealed at SEMA. So I'd love to go to SEMA, but again, I usually have to work in the summer, and I have other things going on, so I don't know. Not to mention that it's in California, which is kind of far from me. That's a whole plane ticket and stuff, so we'll see. Yeah, BRZ and FRS as low as 15K with a clean title. Yeah, that's not too bad. That's good value for what it is. 15K might be a little bit high for some people who are trying to get into their first car, and that really depends on your individual situation. You know, everybody comes from a different background, and some people are more blessed than others. Some people have, you know, 2 parents working full-time jobs. I did not. So for me, I was fortunate to have my Eclipse, and I got that for like $9,000 or so several years ago. So if you could rock that, yeah, I mean, go for it. If not, then there are other good options out there as well. Yeah, South Midwest driver checking in. Very boring roads. Yeah, I lived in South Carolina, dude. I know. In South Carolina, actually isn't that bad, honestly, but it's flat and it's straight and it's wide open. Pittsburgh is not like that. Pittsburgh is very built up, and the Northeast is not like the rest of the country. You know, there's a lot of like buildings that are right on top of the roads. You have the road, you have a sidewalk, and you have buildings on both sides. So you have canyons everywhere. So cars sound a lot louder. It feels faster. It's totally different. Let's see. I should be. Boostin says I should get sponsored by Ammo. Actually, that would be awesome. But I don't see Larry doing that. He has no need to. I don't think I could really bring much to his brand. He has already sold his brand himself. He has awesome marketing. And his marketing is awesome. It works because he's honest, because he shows you why his products are better. He walks you through all that stuff. You know, it's not just smoke and mirrors and snake oil. He explains what each of his products do, and he explains why his product works better than, you know, his competitors. So I would love to be. Why am I getting this? I'm getting like a notification from YouTube saying that my streaming sucks. Viewers will experience buffering. Okay, I apologize if you experience buffering. That's what YouTube is telling me, that my live stream sucks right now. But anyway, back to Ammo. Larry doesn't really need to use. I don't think he really needs to. He doesn't need to sponsor anybody. He doesn't need to hand out free products. He has done an amazing job of marketing his own stuff himself. And I'm happy to use his stuff. His stuff is awesome. So yeah, I'll give him free press when I can. Yeah, the new Subarus, you don't have to change the oil very often at all. And that's what Subaru says. So hey, I guess I'm gonna listen to engineers. Don't listen to me. Listen to engineers. But I personally, I changed my own oil. Not to mention, like, I don't have a brand new Subaru. Mine is older. The engine is new, but the technology is older. It's about 10, 15 years older. But yeah, older Subarus and older cars, you should change the oil more often. Let's see. Man, yeah, 300K. See, I guess I am way behind on comments. $300 can be an intake. Shifter bushings, window tint, yeah. Yeah, window tint's coming, hopefully. I already bought an impact beam. That was like 120 bucks. $300 can go a long way. And a lot of people, you know, I'm not knocking how people spend their money. Spend your money how you want to spend your money. But a lot of people spend a lot of money at clubs, on alcohol, on cigarettes, on video games, on whatever. And, you know, sometimes it seems like it's fairly small purchases, but all of those add up fairly quickly. So even the stuff that I spent on my car, I've been hemorrhaging money like crazy. I bought new suspension, I bought a diffuser, I bought $300 in car care products, I picked up another dash cam. Oh, don't forget wheels and tires. I've been hemorrhaging money like crazy. So yeah, you know, a lot of little things can add up fast, but $300 that's a decent amount of change. I'm certainly not rich, so for me, $300 is a pretty penny. Yeah, the ice cream better be sweet. It's ice cream, for crying out loud. Nobody wants salt-flavored ice cream. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, trust me, I think the ice cream is pretty good, and I'm not just saying that. It's awesome. I think it's better than a lot of other chains out there. My mom's plan, eventually, she would like to build it into a chain, which I think would be really, really cool. But this summer, I plan on keeping up with YouTube and everything like that, but as I said, I'll be working there, and I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time as well trying to put more into that shop. Both of us, my mom and I, want to build it up, and we want to improve on it. The current owner doesn't do any type of social media at all. She's older. She's not really elderly. I think she's like in her 70s or so. She doesn't have a clue about any type of social media. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, Snapchat. She doesn't want to be bothered with any of it. She doesn't really understand the value in social media. And, you know, that's really the trend now. Like, everything is shifting towards social media. Nobody has cable anymore. A bunch of people are getting rid of cable left and right because it's ridiculously expensive. Because for years, networks have just been bundling and bundling and bundling more and more channels to where they just sell you this package for like $200 a month. And not everybody needs all that, you know, all those channels. So a lot of people are just unplugging. I know me and my mom, like, we got rid of cable. Like, we used to have DirecTV. We don't anymore. We watch Netflix, we watch Amazon Prime, and whatever else. So social media is where it's at. And Michelin has proven this. There's a lot of other companies getting into social media, but Michelin, with the pilot experience, that's awesome. That shows how much companies have realized that social media is the next big thing. So the current owner really doesn't understand the value in social media. So we're gonna fix that. We're gonna apply some of my YouTube skills to that, I guess. But yeah, I'm really excited about this shop. If you haven't noticed, peace out, Boostin. Be careful not to eat the ice cream. The cool thing about owning an ice cream shop is you could take the ice cream home. I could get whatever ice cream I want. Yeah. See you later, Patrick. See, I'm lagging, man. I don't know why. I want to do more live streams with you guys. I enjoy the live streams. I enjoy hanging out. I enjoy giving the immediate interaction, the immediate feedback. I like talking to you guys rather than just putting out a video and, okay, guys, you could comment and, oh, yeah, you like this or you didn't like that. I mean, I do that because that's the nature of YouTube, but I like live streams as well. Yeah, I spend money on food, guns, video games, exactly. Yeah, hopefully, I have a couple guns. Hopefully, I'll take them out this summer. It's been a while since I've been to the range, again, because I'm busy, and it's been freaking cold out. But I want to do some shooting. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm all that good. It's been a while since I shot anything, but I hope to do some more shooting videos this summer. I know I talked about it last summer, and that just never happened, but I definitely want to go shooting more. Sweet and salty yes. Salted caramel cookies from Arby's. Hey, Arby's is legit, man. Arby's is legit. I will say, for this ice cream shop, she does have a flavor. I think it's called, I couldn't even tell you, like caramel pretzel or something like that. I don't work there yet, and my mom hasn't bought it yet, so I don't know all the flavors. And she has a ton of flavors. But she has like salted pretzels in a peanut butter chocolate ice cream, I believe. And the pretzels are like pretzel nuggets. So those are a little bit salty, but they taste so good with the sweetness of the ice cream. So saltiness does have its place a little bit, but I wouldn't want to eat just like straight salt ice cream, salt-flavored ice cream, or something like that. That should be saved for jelly beans, okay? That would be Jelly Belly coming out with like salt-flavored jelly beans or something like that. Yeah, A13 Taz says his mom and him and his mom got rid of cable. Dude, cable's ridiculous, yo. I've been saying this for years. I've been saying this for over a decade now. I don't understand why the cable companies, like the networks, can't just offer you what channels you want. Because for years, I watched History Channel, Discovery Channel, Disney Channel, and like Cartoon Network, back when that was good. Maybe Nickelodeon. Like maybe 10 different channels. And I watched True TV, or Court TV when it was Court TV. Now it's like True TV and it's all reality shows and stupid crap. But I would much rather pay for the channels that I actually give a damn about than just bundling everything together, being like, oh, it's $300 a month, but you get everything. Oh, except for the NFL Sunday ticket and all these other things. Those are extra packages that you got to pay for. Like, what the hell, man? Everybody's just unplugging, and that's why ratings are tanking like just crazy. Ratings are in the toilet, and you're seeing it. What's funny is it's not just programs anymore, but it's like news networks, which a lot of that has to do with fake news. And I'm not going to get on fake news. I'm not going to talk about that too much. I don't want to go towards politics too much, so I'm going to kind of skirt this. A lot of their ratings are dropping. I'm talking about like CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News. A lot of that's getting their ratings are just dropping because they're reporting fake stories that they haven't fact checked, and they're just like, oh my gosh, Trump said this. Do you believe it? And then it turns out to be not the full story. So a lot of their ratings are dropping because of fake news. But a lot of their ratings are dropping also because people aren't watching freaking cable because nobody gives a damn. Because nobody wants to watch CNN on cable. The only person that I know who has cable is like my grandma. And nobody else watches cable, man. I get all my information from like, C-SPAN and stuff like that on YouTube. I follow other things to get my news. I watch, like I said, Amazon Prime is legit. If you don't have it, you should. Because if you don't, then that means you're not watching the Grand Tour, which is awesome. But I have Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime has a ton of shows, TV shows, movies, documentaries. I'm a huge documentary nerd. I have Amazon Prime. I have my Netflix. I have my YouTube. I am good. Could also get Hulu and stuff like that. But you just don't need cable anymore, man. It's just so outdated. And there's so many networks that do offer live streaming now. Or like for, I don't know, live streamings for some things, but other things you can actually stream and DVR online. So cable's kind of obsolete almost in 2017. Just funny. Yeah, working on your accuracy, working on being a better shooter is always good. I'm not where I want to be. And in my opinion, if you're going to be carrying a weapon, if you're going to be using any type of weapon, but especially if you're going to be a concealed carry permit holder, you really need to be proficient. Especially if anything would ever happen, you're going to be under stress, your adrenaline's going to be pumping, you're going to be just super stressed. You really need to be proficient with that weapon. You need to know what the hell you're doing. And the only thing that scares me more than not having a gun in a crazy situation would be somebody with a gun who doesn't know what the hell they're doing. I've been to the range where people have almost shot other people because they don't know what they're doing, they're not paying attention. And I've been to the range with other people who weren't quite that bad, but they weren't able to hit paper. You need to be able to connect with your target. You really need to be proficient with your weapon, and that's something that I think everybody should definitely strive for who carries weapons. Is you should always want to be better. It's kind of like cars. When you drive cars, you always want to be a better driver. You want to drive better. You want to shift better, shift smoother, all that stuff. So you always want to be improving yourself. Nick says, ever at the Subaru meet in Robinson at Quaker State? Yes. Not all the time, but yes. I might make it out tomorrow night. For anybody who's not familiar, there is a Subaru meet once a month at the Quaker Steak and Lube, at Robinson in Pittsburgh, and it's once a month. It's on the first Wednesday of every month. I've only been out there twice. Once last year, and I was out, or I should say maybe, no, it was last year. I think it was like last September maybe. And I was out there once like 3 or 4 years ago when I was in town visiting. I'll try to make it out tomorrow night, but I don't know if I will. It really depends on what homework I have and other things, but I'll try to make it out. It only comes up once a month, so it's not very often that I get a chance to go because I'm usually working and stuff like that, but I try to make it out when I can. So yeah, hopefully I'll be there, but I do try to make it out there. I try to, I try to put that on my social media, on my Instagram and Twitter, if I can, if I'm going to be going out there, but yeah, I'll try to make it out. Yeah, I don't get why they don't offer individual channels, man. Like, that's where it would be out. Look, give me my channels that I want, charge me $20 a month, and I'd be good. I pay like $4 a month for Pandora. I have Amazon Prime Student. If you're a student in college, you can get Amazon Prime for half off, which is like $50 a year. It's only $100 a year, which is definitely worth it in my opinion. But if you're a student, it's only $50 a year, which is even better. But if they could just package together channels, the channels that I want, charge me like $20, $30 a month, I'd be good. But no, they want to charge you like $150 plus. Then they want to charge you extra for your phone and your internet and all that crap. Why the hell am I paying like $300 plus for that? That's ridiculous. But I'm not. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm done. Cable companies piss me off. Yeah, exactly. But the shows you don't want to watch. Exactly. They just try to bundle in all the garbage with all the good shows. Or the few good shows, I should say. Yeah, Justin, I did get the Student. Student is freaking awesome. It's $50 for a year. That's a killer deal. And with Amazon Prime, not only can you watch the shows and documentaries and all that stuff, but you get free 2-day shipping on like everything that is Prime eligible. Not everything on Amazon not everything qualifies for Prime, but a lot of stuff does. And that stuff is free shipping, free 2-day shipping. And if you don't use your free 2-day shipping, you could use like the standard business shipping, like the slowest option. I used that on my dash cam, and it still came within like 4 days. So it really wasn't much slower. And if you do that, then every time you do that, you get a $5 gift voucher or a $5 like gift certificate to use at Amazon Pantry, which you could use to buy food. And when I first heard of Amazon Pantry, I was like, "Well, why the hell are they selling food online?" Like, I'm just the type of guy that I'd rather go to a grocery store to buy my food. But I actually looked into it, and they have a lot of other stuff. Like you could buy non-perishable items. Okay, it's not just like milk and eggs that you have to buy from Pantry, but you could buy candy bars. You could buy Gatorade, Monster. All kind of stuff like that. So if you look at it that way, that's like $5 you're saving, on food. You could buy cookies or whatever, awesome stuff like that. So yeah, I do have Amazon Prime Student, which is discounted, which is awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. They gave you a refund, man. That's pretty legit. A lot of companies always they just screw around with refunds, man. They don't want to give you your refund. They want to just complain about stuff. They want to, not give you that benefit of the doubt. And they will fight tooth and nail not giving somebody a refund, and they don't realize how much that reflects on the company. That's something that my mom and I have talked about countless times. Whenever you have a business, you really need to think about how that actually reflects on your business. And that doesn't mean you just have to give in to everybody for every reason. But, if there's a situation where a customer is unhappy, take care of that customer, because that says a lot more about your company than those few bucks that you're going to save. Amazon, like, are they going to give a crap about, you know, that $100 or $50? It's not going to make a difference on the grand scheme of things. It's really not going to matter. But when they do give you that refund, then I'm pretty sure you're going to have a much more positive experience and a positive outlook on Amazon than if they, you know, fought you tooth and nail and didn't want to give you that refund. So yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot. Let's see. I'm going to wrap up in about 15 minutes, guys. Let's see. How about subscriptions to Pornhub? I know what you're thinking, but it's so worth it. Nope, I don't pay for porn, dude. That's all I'm gonna say on that subject. That's all I'm gonna say. I know, right? Patrick's on another level, dude. I don't know what. Patrick's making this whole chat X-rated. He's talking about people getting arrested. He's talking about porn and all kind of other weird, kinky nastiness. But anyway, the Clouded Car says, "What's my favorite modification on my car?" That's hard to say. I would have to say my turbo. It's hard to single out one thing because it's a whole system and everything really works together. So as far as like drivability goes, I would say my turbo. I have an 18G from B&R Supercars. B&R makes like refurbished turbos. They're more of like an OEM type turbo. They're not. They're quality turbos. They're usually they don't make. I shouldn't say that they don't make ball bearing turbos. They might, but they usually use you know, your standard journal turbos. But my 18G is solid, man. I've had it for years, and it's freaking awesome. It was only $700, and I cringe every time people talk about buying a new turbo because so many guys get wrapped up in the brand names. And they're like, oh, I need to get a Blausch, or I need this, or I need that. And there's a lot of great turbos out there. There's a lot of awesome companies. Like Blausch, for example, is an amazing company. But for most guys who are building a car that's a daily driver that's only going to see about 350, 400 wheel horsepower, maybe even 450 to the wheels, you really don't need a ball bearing turbo. You don't need a $2,000 turbo. You don't need a billet compressor wheel for it. You don't. So I would have to say, if I had to pick just one random modification, I'd have to say my turbo. I love the response that it gives. It's a great turbo. It's like I said, it's hard to pick just one thing because everything works together. The tune also is very important for how the turbo spools and how that runs. And I would have to say my suspension, my 500 Fortune Auto 500 coilovers are way up there as well. Those are solid, and I'd have to put those up there because my car's a daily. You know, and your coils depend. You know, that dictates how your car is going to ride, how it's going to handle, and everything like that. So that's awesome. I mean, all those things come into play. Does Amazon Pantry have NOS? It might, honestly. Amazon Pantry has a lot of stuff, dude. They have a ton of stuff. So they probably do have NOS. I'm guessing NOS, the energy drink, not nitrous oxide, is like I need NOS, I need to go faster. No, you're gonna blow the welds on your intake. Not that NOS, but the energy drink, I think they do carry that probably. I'm pretty sure I saw Monster on there. I'm pretty sure I saw Red Bull as well. What's up, man? From Australia. That's crazy. I'm always surprised where you guys are from. I mean, honestly, I think that's awesome that everybody could come on YouTube from all over the world, literally, all over the world, and that's just awesome. I'm glad that you appreciate my videos. I try to make quality videos as much as I can, and I try to pass on as much information that I have. You know, that I can. And like I said, I'm not an expert on everything. I couldn't tell you how to rebuild an EJ motor. But there are some things that I know, and I would try to share that with people. I want my channel to be somewhere that people can go to, where they know that the information that I put out is as accurate as it can be. It's really hard to find good information on the forums. A lot of it is just misinformation, a lot of it is personal opinion, and a lot of it is just kind of elitism. There's a lot of people on the forums who think that they're better than everybody else, or somebody might be a moderator or an administrator or a longtime user, and whatever they say is gospel. And sometimes those people are right, and a lot of times those people are wrong. And I'm not singling out anybody, because I've seen it on all forums: car forums, Subaru forums, Eclipse forums, gun forums, paintball forums, you name it. But there's almost like this hierarchy on the forums where people think that because a certain person is saying something that it is accurate, and that's not always the case. A lot of times I've seen people on the forums that clearly have no idea what they're talking about. And again, that's not to say that I know everything. There might be people who watch my videos and say, wow, that guy's an idiot, he doesn't know what he's talking about, and that's a possibility. But I really try to put forth as much informative, accurate information as I can. I try to make videos to help people out. I try to put videos out that cover installs, cover knowledge, detailing, stuff that can actually help people in the car world, because it's so hard to find good quality information these days, and there's so much of it. So yeah, I appreciate that you appreciate my videos. Let's see. The Clouded Car says, would you ever switch to... Thank you, YouTube, for screwing up my comment. It's just shuffled and I lost it. Would you ever switch to open source an open source Pro Tune instead of Cobb for stuff like anti-lag and flex fuel? No, probably not. And the reason for that is I don't really have a reason to do that. I've had Cobb for years. I've ran their off-the-shelf map for probably about 3 to 4 years, and that was solid for me. Some guys say that they have issues. This past weekend, I was hanging out with Eli from IgnitionTube and a couple other guys, and we were talking about some Volkswagens, and he was talking about Cobb tunes for Volkswagens, and he was saying that for that they're not as good as they are for some other cars. But the off-the-shelf maps that I've had from Cobb were great. I had no issues with them. I have an access port. I love my access port because beyond tuning, beyond being able to like change out my maps and get pro tuned with the access port, I also have the ability to monitor. I have an access port V3, by the way. I'm also able to monitor up to 6 different gauges on my access port at any given time. And I could also data log up to, I don't know, I want to say like 20 different parameters, maybe somewhere around there. I think there's a limit, but you could data log a ton of different parameters with the access port, itself. And you could data log that, and you could send it to the tuner, and he could look it over and see what's running right, and if there's any issues with it or whatever. Any hiccups in a tune or whatever, stuff like that, he could look at. Beyond that, the access port also can check and clear check engine lights. So if you have a check engine light and you don't have an access port, you can either go to AutoZone and they'll pull the code for free. They won't really tell you what it is. I think some will tell you basically what the description is. They'll give you the code, they'll give you the description, but then you have to go online to see exactly what it is and how to fix it in a lot of cases. That's free to do, which is cool. But that kind of sucks. I mean, sometimes you have a check engine light and it's like, okay, what the hell just happened? And you might not be near an AutoZone, you might not have time to drive to AutoZone to find out what the code is. You could also buy a separate, like a standalone ECU reader that will read a code, tell you whatever your check engine light is. But those typically are expensive. I think they start around $100 or so. So if you consider buying one of those, you're already $100 into an access port, which is like, I think, $700 for a brand new one. Yeah, I really have no reason to go open source. Cobb is coming out with Flex Fuel. They already released it for their GR series, WRX and STI, and I believe they're working on I know they are working on the GD series STIs right now. I'm not sure when that's going to be released, but hopefully fairly soon. So I really have no reason to go open source. There's really not much out there, and I feel that Cobb is also safer. With open source, you might get a good tune, you might not. With Cobb, and that's not to say that you can't have a bad tune from a Cobb tuner, but Cobb is working really, really hard to make sure that their software is only in the hands of the best tuners. And they had what was called, I think it was called Access Tuner Race, and they came out with that a couple years ago, and it was software that you could basically pay for, or buy, or download, and you could tune your car yourself. Well, other people were buying that, and it was allowing them to tune cars, if I'm not mistaken, and they were starting to get a lot of failures. Like a lot of people who didn't know how to tune cars, a lot of people who had no business in the tuning world, messing around with any ECUs, were starting to damage cars, blow up engines and stuff like that. So Cobb kind of took a step back on that, and they realized that, you know, bad tunes do reflect on their product, and since then they have really worked hard to make sure that their software and their tuning software, their products, whatever, only ends up in the hands of good quality, professional, reputable tuners. So yeah, I really have no reason to go open source. I love my access port. I really wouldn't change it so much. I'm happy with it. Let's see. Yeah. The Clouded Car says he's flying to Virginia to pick up his set of Gen 6 500 coilovers. Yeah, and tour their factory. That's awesome. I definitely would love to go to Fortunato sometime and just tour their factory, see what's up. I would love to do a video with them. I would love to be sponsored by Fortunato. Wink, wink, Fortunato. Not that they watch my videos, but I'm happy to have paid you know, full price for my coilovers, just so that I could say that I'm not sponsored by them. I would love to be sponsored, but you know, whenever you are sponsored, you have to be aware that whatever you say, people are not going to believe you. They're going to write you off. They're going to be like, oh, he's sponsored. Even if you believe what you believe, they're probably going to write you off. But yeah, I would love to be sponsored by Fortunato. I would love to do a video with them. I would love to show off their factory. I think they make some awesome products, and I love that they make all their stuff in the USA. Rock on. Overcome says, you mentioned turbo response. What RPM range does your turbo start spooling hard at, and does it pull hard to redline? Yes, and it does. So I have an 06 STI, comes factory with a VF39 turbo. The VF39 was awesome. However, it dropped off at like 5,500 RPMs. Anybody who has had an STI knows it's terrible. You have a very narrow power band with the VF39. It's about $4,000 to 5,500, if that. It's not super wide. It does spool up a little bit lower than that, maybe like 3,500-ish ballpark. And with a good tune and supporting mods, you could get a VF39 spooling even lower than that. So VF39 is pretty torquey, but it drops off in the top end. It doesn't have anything up top at all. And you actually lose power from like 5,500 on to, I think, redline is at like 7K. The 18G that I have is a 50 trim turbo. I don't know all the specs on it, unfortunately, but it spools up pretty quick. It's not as fast as a VF39, obviously, because it's bigger. But I hit full boost around. I think I hit full boost around like I don't know, 4 grand or so. It starts spooling up, like, it starts really spooling around 3,500, 3,700 or so, and I think I hit full boost around like 4 grand or so. It's been a while since I actually really paid attention to where I hit full boost, but it comes in pretty low. It's almost like a factory turbo, you know, which is something to consider. A lot of guys like really big turbos because they make high horsepower, but those the turbos, you know, they don't really spool up until the higher RPMs, and you don't hit full boost sometimes until like 5 grand. Like, what's the point of that? I remember watching a video several years ago, many years ago, before I even had my STI, I believe. It was a kid with a Civic. Not to hate on Hondas at all, but this kid had a Civic, and he dropped in a turbo. I couldn't even tell you what turbo it was, but it was friggin' massive. Absolutely huge. And it was hilarious because this turbo, and I guess he just did it for fun. I'm not trying to say he's a complete idiot. I don't know if he was running around trying to say that his car was super fast. I do know his title was clickbait, though, because he said something like his 700 horsepower Honda Civic or something like that. He dropped in this monstrous turbo, but the power band, I kid you not, his power band was like from 6 grand to 7 grand. The whole time it was lag, 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 lag. Turbo, boom. I couldn't even tell you how many pounds he was running of boost, but it spooled like crazy. He spun his tires like crazy. He went almost nowhere because it was so much power, he would just spin his tires. And then it was time to shift. Lag, 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 lag. Boost, shift, lag, lag, lag. And it was like, what the hell? So if you're going with a bigger turbo, that's something to consider. That you're going to have a lot more lag. But mine, I'm very happy with. I think it's perfectly streetable. It's great for a daily driver. It does come in a little bit later than, you know, the VF39 does, but it pulls hard to redline, which is 7 grand. So the VF39, like I said, drops off after 5,500 RPM or so. The 18G that I have definitely pulls harder to redline. It pulls hard to about 7 grand. So that's awesome. I love my turbo. I couldn't be happy with it, really. Oh man, where am I? Again, lost in the comments. Yeah, it's midday here in Australia. What time is it where I live? Right now, it's 11:03 p.m. And I should probably I should wrap up soon. But yeah, it's 11 p.m. here, and I think there's probably a couple of you guys. I don't know if anybody's from California watching right now, but there's guys from California watching who are 3 hours behind me. There are guys in Hawaii watching every once in a while. So it's crazy to watch, like, everybody from around the world, you know, just how the different time zones are. It's kind of crazy. I would love to go to Barbados, dude. Barbados sounds legit AF. I would love to go to Barbados. Priorities. I don't have the money for Barbados right now. I'd like to get a house first. But I would totally go to Barbados. That's freaking sweet. Yeah. Said gun forms are the worst. I think all forms are terrible, man. I don't even bother with gun forms. Gun forms are terrible. Just everybody thinks they know everything, and most of the people who act like that don't know a damn thing. And then especially when you talk about, oh my goodness, you talk about like AR-15s, people don't know anything about that. People don't know anything about ballistics. People don't know anything about rifle rounds. People don't know about pistol rounds. Then you have the age-old debate of, you know, the 45 versus 9mm versus 40 Smith & Wesson. Everybody acts like their way is the only way, and it's the same thing on the car forums. You know, people say, oh, if you don't buy a GTR, then you suck. People say, oh, the STI is the only way to go. People say, oh, no, the Evo's the only way to go. Everybody tries to make these situations black and white, and they are far from black and white situations. You know, there's a whole lot of gray area in between, and there's a lot of other, you know, points of view and opinions that are just as valid. So Yeah, I don't mess with forums, man. I go on Naziok to look up some how-tos, sometimes some information and stuff like that, but I never contribute anything. There's no reason to contribute anything. There's nothing new to contribute because it's been around since ever. And then everybody gets pissy because you made a new thread, or they get pissy because you bumped an old thread. And that's not to just hate on Naziok. I mean, that's pretty much like every forum that I've been on, whether it's cars, guns, paintball, you name it. They're all kind of a pain in the ass to deal with. Yeah, you could get an OBD2 Bluetooth. Yeah, that's an option too now. A lot of stuff is like on your phone, which is pretty cool. But yeah, my Cobb access port works awesome. So where are we? I'll have to PM you, dude. Clouded car. If you send me, if you're on Instagram, shoot me a message on Instagram. I hate shooting messages on YouTube because it sucks. Whenever I end the stream, if I remember, I'll try to message you on YouTube, or I'll get in touch with you if I can. Messaging me on Instagram is the best way to get in touch with me. But yeah, I mean, I'm down, man. I'd love to get sponsored by Fortunato. I just bought new coils, but hey, all their stuff is modular. All their stuff is upgradable, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, that'd be cool. I don't know how much press I could give them. I only have 5,000 subscribers right now. You know, and I totally get sponsorships. Like, I don't ever want to pressure anybody into sponsoring you or sponsoring me, because you know, whenever a company is making a product and they're going to sponsor somebody, they have to be getting a return on their investment. So I get that. You know, it's easy for a company like Airlift to give TJ a set of bags, because what are bags? Like $5 grand or so? I think it's kind of pricey, but you get a lot of stuff with it. But they put a set of bags in TJ's hands, or they give Calvin some bags for whatever car you know, his BRZ, whatever. And they're putting it in front of literally hundreds of thousands of people. And TJ has like 500,000 followers, and there's hundreds of thousands of people who watch each of his videos. So, and that video is going to be up there for years. So, you know, that's a great return on their investment. For me right now, I don't know that that's going to be as good of a return on their investment. So, and that's kind of one of the issues with getting sponsored. That's one of the hard things about getting sponsored is, you know, you have to make a case for yourself that you are going to help the company. And you are going to put out their product, and it's going to be you're going to be worth their time. So for me right now, I feel like my channel's kind of small. I don't know if I could really justify that. Like, I think Fortunato's probably doing better without me. They're probably doing better with, you know, David Patterson's videos on his 240 where he installed Fortunatos. But I'm up for that, man. I'm game. That's legit. Yeah, see you later, dude. A13 Taz is peacing out. I need to peace out pretty soon myself. I actually have homework to do before tomorrow. I have an algebra test, which I'm not thrilled about. But, yeah. Where am I? Kyron? Kyron, is that your name? I'm sorry if I butchered that. It says, you're effing awesome. Will you do another live stream within the next month? I don't know about within the next month, but I will do more live streams. This live stream today was kind of impromptu. I was really not sure what I wanted to do for a video. I'm kind of busy this week. My GoPro was kind of destroyed at the moment. And I have to work this weekend. I'll be working like 2 12-hour shifts, which kind of sucks. So that kills my whole weekend, and that kind of kills my next week because I'll be exhausted from that. Okay, I got a text. So yeah, I'm gonna hop off pretty quick, you guys. I gotta go. I got other things going on. But just to wrap up really quick, I can't say that I'll do a live stream in the next month, but this one was just kind of to give you guys an update. I wanted to give a channel update in the beginning of this live stream so people could see what's going on with my channel. And I enjoy hanging out with you guys. I enjoy BSing and answering questions and comments and stuff like that. So within the next month, I'm not sure, but you will have more live streams, I promise you. Yeah, it's like midnight in Brazil. Dude, why? That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Like, you guys are from all over the place. That's really sick. Dream SUV. He says it would be a Range Rover for him. SVR. Yeah, dream SUV. I don't know. I'm not really an SUV type of a guy. I do like Range Rovers. I think those are pretty sweet. Jeeps are pretty sweet. I'm a pretty big Jeep fan. I've never owned a Jeep, but I support the brand. In a lot of ways, Jeep is very similar to Subaru, and they have a very loyal following. So Jeeps are pretty cool. So I'm not sure. I don't know if I have a dream SUV per se, but I'd be good with a Range Rover. I'm not a big flashy type of guy, so I probably wouldn't be into like a Denali really, or like an Escalade or anything like real flashy and showy. Certainly not a Hummer H2. Although I was a fan of the original Hummer, the original Humvee that became the Hummer. I think I wanted one of those when I was like 8 because I thought they were so badass. But I probably wouldn't buy one. Actually, I'd probably buy a Hummer H1 just to be cool. But I probably wouldn't drive it anywhere. That would be like a garage thing. That would be like if I had Jay Leno's garage, right? Like that's something I would just buy and park there. Like he has like a fire truck and stuff like that. Yeah, cool. You just PM'd me. I'll check it out, dude, as soon as I get off his stream. I appreciate it. But yeah, I don't know if I have a dream SUV really per se. Put me down for probably a Jeep or a Range Rover. As far as Jeeps go, I like both their like, and I'm not really a Jeep, like a huge fan. Like I'm not a Jeep aficionado, so I don't know everything. I don't know, like I think a Jeep Liberty is kind of cool. Their SUV style Jeeps are kind of cool. But I also like the Wranglers too as well. The off-roady type stuff. Off-roady, if that's a word. But yeah, I do like Jeeps. I like all kinds of Jeeps and stuff, so that's cool. I would probably go with that, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, profit margin. So yeah, maybe half that on the bags. Yeah. Yep. And I don't know how much bags cost to make. I don't know how much coils cost to make. I really don't. But and with bags, you get a lot more stuff. You know, you have to have a compressor, you have to have an air tank, you have to have an air lines, air system, all that stuff. So there's a lot of engineering, honestly, that goes into bags. And Airlift Performance, especially, is a top of the line company. If I ever did get bags for one reason or another, it would be Airlift because they make legitimate stuff. That being said, yeah, there's a lot more that goes into it. So who knows? But bags aren't necessarily for me. Overcome says, how are the new tires working out? The PS4S tires from Michelin are amazing. I highly recommend them. I will be doing a full review on them in the future. I kind of want to compare them to other tires that I've driven on, and I don't know how to do that without talking. I've had some people complain because I talk too much in my videos. Not too many people, just a couple people randomly here and there say I talk too much, which is funny. That's hilarious to me. But I try to genuinely be entertaining and informative at the same time. So I do want to give you my impressions on those tires. I'll definitely give you a review, and I kind of want to compare them to some other things that I've driven on. So if other people have used those same tires, they have a better idea of of how the new PS4S tires actually compare. So yeah, Michelin is winning in my book. Awesome. Yeah, Justin, I'll definitely keep you posted on how I spend the $5. Next time I do a live stream, if you're in here, just ask me how I spent the $5. Overcome, the price point on the tires right now, it depends on the size that you get. But from TireRack.com, I paid $200 each for mine. The tire size that I bought was 245/40 ZR18s. I think from Michelin, they're priced at like $230 a tire or something like that. It's not much. It's not much more. And as you go up in bigger and more exotic sizes, I think it goes up a little bit, but not too much. So yeah, they're around $200 per tire. But I will say, I know that's not like super cheap, but they punch well above their weight. I think they honestly are they perform beyond a $200 tire. I had the BF Goodrich KDW2s. I paid $200 a tire for those, and the size was 255/35 ZR18s. And my new Michelins perform, even though they're 245s compared to the 255s that the KDWs were, they actually perform much better. So they punch well above their weight. And for further comparison, my Bridgestone Potenza RE760 Sports, I paid about $170 per tire, and these Michelins that were $200 per tire blow them out of the water. No comparison at all. So they're well worth the money. They're not super cheap tires, but I don't think you'd be disappointed with them. They're pretty awesome. I can't help but smile every time I drive my car. You know, just the safety and security that I get from having tires that are that grippy is awesome. And they don't feel super soft, honestly. I had the Hankook Ventus RS3s, and they were awesome. They were very sticky, but they were also very soft. And they didn't last very long. So I'll keep you guys posted. Hopefully these PS4S tires last long. I think the tread wear on them is 300, which is pretty decent. They're really meant to be a daily driver tire, which is awesome. But so far they're awesome. They just blow me away. They're awesome. I have nothing else to say about them other than that. They're great. Yeah, alright guys, so we've been streaming for 2 hours and 48 minutes at this point, and I think it's time to wrap up. My voice is about done, and I gotta get some other things together before I head to school tomorrow. So yeah, Justin, they have literally one 18-inch size for now. Pretty much. Their sizes that they released right now are very limited because it's their initial launch. To the best of my understanding, they are going to release some other subsequent sizes. They're going to make more sizes available in the future, but that's for the initial size. Oh man, bro, you're late. Operator says, "Hello, my friend." Bro, I'm about to shut it down, dude. I'm sorry. But this live stream will be viewable on my channel if you missed anything. I just went over a quick update for my channel, some things that are coming up and that are going on, and also just was hanging out and BSing with you guys for a while. But yeah, now it's been like 2 hours, 49 minutes. I really need to wrap up. I need to take care of some things, so I'm gonna go. But I definitely appreciate you guys hanging out, spending some time with me. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the questions. And I'm going to wrap up right now. I appreciate the final comments from Justin saying, you know, he wishes me good luck with my algebra. Thank you for that. And Overcome says he likes the live streams. I appreciate that sincerely. You guys are awesome. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me, and I'll catch you guys later.